here, Trim, before everybody piles in.
Yeah.
So give me just a minute here.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. And actually, all right, I'm gonna go grab a drink, but I'm gonna bring y'all with me. All right. Look at this. Look, you see how late. Look at how lazy this girl is. You're so lazy.
Hard knock life.
That's right. I know you got it so tough, don't you, girl? You know, Travis, it's hard being a reactive dog with a lot of problems. You know, it's a tough gig.
Yeah.
I think I remember what I was gonna say. So I was talking about because when I was younger, I had always had that part of my mentality that was there. You know, I knew I've always had the rebellious streak, that strong mind. I back talk. I was a little asshole,
That's
and
genetic though.
yeah,
It is genetic.
exactly. And so, but I get a lot of it. Believe it or not, I get a lot of it from my mom. But so all of the societal conditioning and all the bullshit that the propaganda, the way that they're trying to engineer you to be, I had a lot of that did affect me, and so I had to work to strip all that away, but then
Mm-hmm.
cultivate those aspects of my personality that I always knew were there. And so that's what's led me to where I am now, where because you this is something that very few people I think can understand. This is the recent debate that I had where I was talking about how if you don't have the skills, the personality, the understanding, and the know-how of the principles and how to apply them, you're always going to fail because you could do the exact same thing as me, but if you don't have that in you, it's not going to work. And so there are just some of us that you either got it or you don't. And and I think that was when I was trying to tie that back to the COVID situation. It was just sort of like that side of me it just came out. It was like you either have it or you don't. And so I saw the world as like, why is everybody just bending the knee to this shit? And I just had a completely different mentality about it. And so I didn't agree, but of course every day I was constantly I was reading news, looking at studies, I was on alternative news platforms, I was researching my ass off to try to figure out like what the fuck is going on here. So
Not
the
just
more and more,
opposing, not just
yeah, I'm
opposing
not,
for the
yeah,
sake of opposing. Or
exactly. It's not you're not like a rebel without a cause. There needs
yeah.
to be a reason behind it. And so the more and more that I learned about it and realized like we're not being told the truth here. That's when I became more like, no, I'm not gonna fucking bend the knee to this shit. And I love that. Like, you ever seen 300?
A long time ago.
Yeah, there's a scene in there where Leonidas, because to me, Leonidas in that movie is just the epitome of what a king should be, what a man should be. And there's a scene in there where him and Xerxes first meet, And Xerxes gives him the proposal of like, Leonidas, I will make you a warlord, the warlord of Greece. All you need to do is submit to me, bend the knee to me. And Leonidas, just in a very charming, cheeky way, is just kind of like, well, there's a bit of a problem there. I've been slaughtering your men up and down the field this all morning, and I've got a bit of a cramp in my knee, so I it's gonna be a little hard for me to just to bend the knee to you. But it's basically like saying fuck you, but in the most
It's not
humorous
what you
way.
say, it's how you say it.
Exactly. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, that to me, that's like to me in a nutshell, where I'm just like, oh, you want me to submit to you? Fuck you, motherfucker. It's not, you're talking to the wrong
Mhm.
guy. It ain't just gonna happen like that.
And their dogs, like, you ever met those dogs?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, those dogs.
They're just built for the front. And it's like,
Yeah,
I'm asking you to be the back, but I get it. I don't think you're
I
as
get
in
it.
you.
That was see, that's the thing. Like, and this is an older picture of Bruno, but um, I don't know if you can see him there. But
Little glare right on his face.
yeah, there's something I always respected about him, was he was that way, where he was like, now he did respect and submit to me, but he still had that personality of like, when he was around dogs, or he was like, no, fuck you, I'm number one. And he didn't, any dog that challenged him, it was like, I'm gonna show you what's up. So I always called him my captain. He was my number one, because I respected that about him, where he had that mentality of like, nah, motherfucker, I'm the big bad boy on the block. Because I'm like, I get it. I see that same shit in myself. I understood it.
And
You know,
unfortunately, when people walk their dogs and another dog runs up on them, if you don't have that mentality, you've lost a
right?
lot of points
You
with your dog. They don't trust you anymore.
exactly.
You almost have to, and I've said this a bunch of times, if you're walking your dog, you better be ready to go to war
Hmm.
or don't go outside. Because if you bitch up and you can't save your dog,
Yep.
you can't defend them, you might as well chalk it up as a loss because you're done.
The,
They'll never trust you. I wouldn't.
yeah.
Internet's going out. Internet, internet's going out. Who is
Oh, did we get
Who is
disconnected?
Lean?
Oh, Leanne's a little newer to the group.
Oh,
Leanne, Travis is all good, girl.
yeah,
See,
maybe.
women don't understand that side of they don't they
Apparently
don't
not.
understand that side of us, Travis. They just don't they
Hey,
don't get
you got to be
it.
about it, or don't show up.
That's right.
Hey, I know plenty of females that
Actually,
are
I've
about
got
it
a.
and ready for war. So
I was just about to say that I got a one of my newer virtual clients. She's got that mindset where, because she lives in an area where there's a lot of strays and a lot of dogs run up on them. And
hmm
she was telling me stories about that, because she's got that mindset of like, oh, when dogs run up on her and her dog, she's like, she'll posture and she'll scare them off, and she's got that dog in her. She's like, you fucking with the wrong group. But that's how she gets them to run away, because she's able to do that.
yeah. I chase after now. I say, "Come here, you little motherfucker, come here," and they always run away.
Right.
But we have been run up on. No lie, you would think I'm lying if I said 20 or 30 times since I've had Prince Emily. Most of it was when I lived downtown Houston.
Damn. Well, you got
But
a lot of
we
strays in Houston too, right? A lot of
a
strays
lot.
down there. Yeah,
They're everywhere. But
that's
we've been run
crazy.
up on a bunch of times, and most of the time it's not been an issue. But some dogs,
Yeah,
uh, uh, uh some people just haven't experienced how real it can get with dogs. Let's just put it like that.
definitely.
If you have
I
never
Go ahead.
been put in the ER, if you've never broken up multiple dog fights, you just don't know what wild is.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
I've broken up a lot of dog fights, like especially with Bruno. Um,
Hmm.
I've broken up a few group fights. But I haven't. I'd say the number of times, let's say, a stray dog ran up on us, or somebody. Actually, what's happened more to me rather than like a stray is somebody walking their dog and they lose control of it, and the dog just starts charging you. I've had that
Uh-huh.
happen a lot of times, um, but not definitely not 30. I would say oof, 10, 15 times maybe. You know, but I handle it the same way every time. And it's. Although I was with a client one time, and we were walking their pit bull, and we were all going up the street, and this pit bull comes running up to us on the sidewalk, and they saw it coming, and they got a little scared. So I walked up to it, and I just stared it down and kind of postured, and the dog stopped in his tracks. It peed on the sidewalk, and then turned and ran the
Oh
other
damn.
way. They thought it was so impressive. They thought it was like voodoo. I was like,
Yeah.
I promise you guys, it wasn't nothing special. I was just telling them something with these.
And those are communication number one, eyes.
Ex-
If
exactly,
people
eye
do,
contact.
that's what a lot of people fail to understand. Reading eyes,
Yep.
it's almost everything.
And that's something
Because
you can't see me do it in my videos, but I always tell people like that is it's a lot of stuff you're not able to see, but I'm doing it. And that's why I tell people all those forms of communication they're extremely important, but that's the stuff that a lot of people they miss, they don't think about it.
right, and the more you put tools in your hand, the further you get away from that.
Exactly.
You don't know how to talk with your body and
Exactly. you're
your
just
eyes. Yeah.
you're just trying, all you're doing is that that's it. And it's, to me, yeah, it's like a de-evolution where you're not even trying to build those skills. You're
Well, do they want the punishment to not be associated with the human? I believe so.
I
Where
would want
I
it to.
where I want it to be associated with me. But the
Yeah,
e-collar people, they're delivering punishment and it's not associated with them. I think that's what they're
exactly.
trying to do, which is
No, and that's why the couple of times that I've used it, the way that I've used it and that I've instructed my clients to use it is I say, listen, the whole point of this is to make your nose stronger. So
yes.
we have to directly tie it to you saying something to the dog, and then that way we get the dog to respect your word, and then we phase out the e-collar. So that's the goal of it for me is I want the dog to know it's coming from you, but it's
Yeah.
also tied to the word you're saying no, and that sensation means don't do this. So it's just a way to give leverage. But and I don't know how a lot of the other e-collar trainers. I know that may be a little different than how they use them. I'm not 100% sure.
There are a lot of different
Um,
approaches, I think.
yeah, because I've seen a lot of people use it where it's almost like they take a passive role where they're just kind of watching the dog and then they hit a button and then they watch the dog. But then
Yeah, I didn't
to
like
me,
that. Boom. I didn't like that. Boom. I
yeah,
didn't like
it
that. Boom.
doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just like, well, how does the dog know you're doing it? First of all, and B, to me, it's not. How are you ever going to phase out the e-collar if
Well, they're
you're?
calling these act of God corrections or
Yeah,
like rattlesnake avoidance. It's just an act of God. You go near a rattlesnake, it's gonna suck. We don't know
right,
why, it just sucks. And
right,
then we'll
right.
stay away.
Yeah,
Which in certain circumstances I can see that
sure,
being why does it need to be or in other most other cases, I need you to understand I am your source of direction. That's why
exactly.
I'm correcting your what you just did.
Yeah, I don't want you to engage with that. So
Oh,
don't.
you okay, so you okay. But then
Right.
some would say, well, then they'll do it when you're not around. Well, I haven't experienced that, so I don't know.
Yeah. To
They
me,
still don't do it.
yeah. To me, the issue then is if the dog will take the opportunity to do it when I'm not around, then either A, there's a lack of respect there still, or B, the dog just doesn't know in that context with you being gone that it's still unacceptable. So
You're
at
right.
that point, I would just make sure that they understood, hey, just because I'm gone doesn't mean you just don't do that.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
sometimes dogs will deliberately, like say with food, like you leave food out, they'll wait till you're gone. They're like, all right, now's my opportunity. To me, that's usually there's a lack of respect there. Where just because I leave the room that's still my food. It doesn't mean you can eat my food. But that's the way I see it now. Oh, give me 1 minute, Travis. I'm just gonna get something to drink here real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate
What you went
everybody
to
for
the
joining.
you went to the
Leanne,
store?
Leanne, what's that?
You went to the store?
Yeah. I live
Oh,
I live so close to all these stores. I'm just gonna run in there real quick.
go ahead.
But I'm only gonna be a minute.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
let's just chat with the group here for a second.
Yeah, all right. Oh, well, guess you know what to do, Liam. Don't let the door not hit you where the dog should have bit you. There's always a sideline quarterback somewhere lurking. Always. No real skin in the game, but plenty to say. Eh, you can get you can come on live though. Anybody is welcome to come on live to discuss. Anyone can come on live. This is I think this is not my live, but I'm pretty sure anyone with
All right.
some
Sorry
something to
about that,
say
guys. I got
could
I
come
got
on live.
cotton mouth like a motherfucker. Sorry about that. My mouth is so dry. All right, ready to rock and roll. What do
Kevin,
we got going on?
some people wanted to come on to oppose
Man,
some opposition. Can you do that?
yeah, I got no problem with it. The only problem is this format. It only allows for two people. And
Oh,
my OBS and I've tried to set up OBS and Streamlabs and all that, but for some reason, it just won't verify my YouTube account. So now,
oh.
Ryan, I don't know if you have all that set up, but if anybody does have that, then we could go to another channel or something and have everybody talk. But I'm not
Well,
opposed to that at all.
well, Liam has a lot to say. I want to
Okay,
give him or her a lot of opportunities to speak.
sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Leanne. Well, the first question I guess is, does anybody have any OBS or anything set up where you could invite multiple people? Am I ahead of you on all that? Yeah, I keep.
Or
I don't know why it just
or
won't.
is this just some silly vibe thing and there's no real substance there, then there's no point. But I thought someone had something actually.
Oh, I don't know. What's the disagreement, Leanne?
I don't even know.
I'm not sure what's the disagreement.
If it's just a feelings thing. It's feelings. Feelings.
No, Ryan. Even I've tried to set up on Streamlab, OBS, StreamYard, and anytime I try to verify my YouTube account, it just gets stuck. It just won't do it because it takes 24 hours. It just they will not verify my. I don't know why it won't do it. It drives me nuts because I would much rather do it on that platform because we can invite more than one person.
Hmm.
Maybe Zoom. I don't know. Does the free version of Zoom let you have more than one person? I mean, I know there's a 40-minute limit to Zoom. I could do it on Zoom if I just don't know if the free version lets you have more than one person. No, what do you
I can't
what do you
I
what do you
can't I
mean,
can't
Leanne?
tell if this is like some satire.
He said you should
Yeah,
get bit. What do you mean? What do you mean,
this is
Leanne?
just
I'm not.
silly.
I
It's
I
just silly
probably
stuff.
did not hear that. Was that when I was in the store?
Oh yes, I did. No, I did. I did. I said, don't let the doorknob hit you where the dog should have bit you.
Oh,
That must have been what it was.
I got you. Well, I don't
So,
know. Well, Leanne, what's your disagreement with Travis, Leanne? What is the main concern?
please do share.
Yeah, because we got no problem with see in this room, guys. We can disagree, and you're not going to get kicked out or a banned, or we don't do that over here.
Yeah, I don't block people. You're
No, because
welcome to
we're
your
not
opinion.
soft. Yeah, we're not soft as baby shit. So
You, Kevin, is this person being silly or is this person being serious?
no, Leanne's a little newer to the channel, but she's always been very
Uh,
respectful, very like a serious person. So I don't
well,
um
well, if I don't
I
hit,
got no.
if I don't see any legitimate complaints, I'm just gonna disregard it at a certain point. I can't tell if it's just silliness. But anyway, how about threats
I
and
know.
intimidation? Let's talk about threats and intimidation.
Okay.
I've been
Yeah,
to
unless Leanne,
so many. Go ahead.
go ahead, Trey. No, I was gonna say, Leanne. Yeah, if you don't have like a just in a sentence, if you could express a disagreement, we'll still read the comments, but we'll move on to another topic.
Well,
But yeah,
like
you go ahead,
threats and
Travis.
intimidation. So, how do you tell a soccer mom that the name of the game is threats and intimidation? And how do you say that in a way that they understand? Uh, because
That's a hard thing
that
for
is the
people
name
to
of the
get their
game.
head around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
know it is.
if people
Man,
don't embrace it, they'll never embrace the concept.
no, and it's I think the way I've gone about it with clients is I think it's just a lot of it is how you word it and how you explain it and how you show it. You know, like my client last night, they of course they had all the classes with the positive reinforcement and PetSmart and everything. So the question they kept asking was like, so we're not going to do anything with treats, or shouldn't we tell her good girl, shouldn't so I think sometimes if people come from these schools of thought, or they're taught these ways of seeing things, doing the complete opposite, I think it can really, it just like it can be, it's like it throws them off a little bit, I think, where it's like so different than what they're used to,
It is.
and it may even feel wrong, I don't know, but
Yeah.
that's just that's how that's the nature of the creature, you know.
I know, and I don't think we're ever gonna really be able to solve people's problems if they don't understand that concept because most people are threatening and intimidating their dogs whether they realize it or not.
We certainly do it to each other. We do it to our kids, you know. Like,
Yeah, yeah. We said, I mean, how intimidating is it to send a 5-year-old to school on the first day?
right, especially when they're kicking or screaming and they're like, I don't want to go. No, you're going.
Yeah,
Sorry. Oh, and
that's
if you don't go,
that's a
you're
threat.
not getting. Yeah, that's a threat.
Exactly. So,
It's
but we
just
have to
like
do it. But we have to do it because they have to go.
exactly.
They can't
There,
not go.
there's no
I
ifs,
mean,
and, or buts.
we can make an exceptions in some cases, but with dogs,
Right.
suddenly you're not allowed to do all this stuff. But
I know. I just don't understand why there's this double standard. You know, there's this like people just get it's too emotionally. There's like um for some reason it's instinctual and natural when you do it to your kid, but with the dog it's like they all these feelings and, oh, I can't do it, the dog's too cute. That's always the one I hear is, the dog is so cute, I don't want to tell it no. And I'm like, you can't, cuteness should not be a factor. You got to stop letting the cuteness
yeah,
sway
and
you one way or the other.
this is the problem in a nutshell. When you tell a dog no and they have that look where they look like that hang dog look, people cannot
Mm,
handle that shit.
mm. And they're like, "Oh, look at," it's like, listen, I don't care one way or the other. Maybe I'm a cold-hearted motherfucker, but I don't,
No, because I'm
because
looking at the big picture. I'm looking at where we're
yeah,
going. Because I'm
exactly.
more than willing to put pressure on you now because I know where we're going.
Right. And I just see those things differently. I
When
don't
they
see
don't
the
see
same
that, they
yeah,
don't
I
see the
don't see
same
it.
end goal that we see. So if they
No.
did, then they would be able to embrace it a little more. But to Brandon's point, we have to be comfortable making them uncomfortable. And if
Exactly.
you're not going to make them uncomfortable enough, and it's just not going to
No.
work. Because my mom just got a puppy. So right, so she has an English lab puppy. We've done rescues. That's all we've ever done. This time she wanted to get
Mhm.
a puppy, a lab. So now it's 4 months, 5 months old. She just started puppy class, and I asked her,
Uh-oh.
well, what did they tell you
Uh-oh.
about when she picks up something off the floor and won't give it up? How are you supposed to handle that?
What did
I'll
they
be
tell
interested.
her?
Well, she said we haven't gotten to that point in the. It's just day
Oh,
one,
they haven't answered that question
but I'd be
yet.
curious to see how they address even little things like that can turn
Right.
into a fun little game for dogs. Oh, I find
Turn
stuff.
into
Not only do I get it, but you chase me and I run around and it's a big game. And
Yep.
then it becomes an addiction. And then now
Yep.
the dog's fully grown. So I'm wondering at puppy classes, how do they even discuss disagreeing with unwanted behaviors? To me, that's the nucleus of all this the point of this whole conversation is unwanted behaviors. How do you disagree with them and
Right.
what's fair and what's
Right, and this is the thing that um I don't understand about the, say, the force-free philosophy is I was debating I think it was like the second debate I ever had on this channel. And the conversation went really, really well. I talked to her for like 4 hours, but and I didn't say this because my goal was to not score points or win or be mean or anything, but it was just something I noticed where because I had asked her at the beginning, like, so are you one of the individuals who believe that you shouldn't even say no to your dog? And she had said yes. But I had noticed at a point in the conversation, like that her dogs kept barking, and she had turned around and she like put her hand on one of the dog and was like trying to create space. She was like, stop. So I'm like, okay,
hmm
well, and
so you do.
I just yeah, I watched it, but I didn't say anything. But I'm thinking, get so then my question always becomes, all right, you can say that you don't agree with saying no to your dog at all, but if you also, on the other hand, acknowledge that dogs need rules and boundaries, how do you enforce or implement and enforce those things without saying no? I mean, the nature
Otherwise,
of a
what's the
rule,
point? What's the point of
yeah,
enforce or even establishing the rules in the first place if you can't enforce them?
right. Or for me, it's how do you even establish it? If you can't express a disagreement to something or say you can't do that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you also say you can't say no to your dog, then you're kind of at a loss there. You're like, you can't, how do you
And
ever do it?
you're saying two different things at the same time. You're saying well because the rules, boundaries, limitations aren't going to establish themselves.
No.
You have
And
rules of your
somebody
house.
somebody has to be making them. So if you're not, then the dog will. You
Yeah,
may
I've
not
been to
know
those
it.
homes. I've been to
Yeah,
those homes.
right. Right.
And you know, and the reason people don't know why I talk like fired up. I've been to a lot of homes. Most of the homes I go to are dogs who have been rescued from a shelter, and their next stop is the pink juice. There's nowhere left to go.
Sorry about that. I accidentally hit
Oh,
my power button.
oh, I can't hear you much.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Uh, volume's down.
My thumb got away from me. Can you hear me now?
Volume's low.
Is it? God damn
Yeah,
it. All right, I got all the way up.
I
Is that
can't
better?
really. Nah,
No?
it's better. I can hear you, but
God
uh,
damn it.
anyway,
I hate when that shit happens. My bad. That was my fault.
nah, I can hear you well enough.
Okay. No, you were saying you've been to. I'll try to talk louder. You've been in enough homes where um the dog is the next stop is euthanasia, and
I've just met too many of those type of dogs, and there's just no options in Houston. There are strays everywhere, so it's not like we'll just send you to another home. There is nowhere to go. So if you don't fix it, they're dead. Then that's a lot of pressure because there's nowhere to go.
And at that point, when you're in that position, it's sort of like it's kind of it's do or die. You either there's only so much I can do if you're not willing to go with me on certain things, then this is your dog's last. This is the last chance, Um, but usually, if I work with somebody who their dog's in that position, usually I'll tell them that, listen, everything that you've done up to this point has led to this. And so, if there's a lack of certain things that you have not given this dog, but you're not comfortable with doing it now, I mean, I try to help them see that that's the reason you're in this situation is you have not done those things.
Which is not what most trainers do. They say your dog has this problem and this problem and this problem. You send me money and this much time, I'll fix
Right,
your problems. That's not the problem.
right.
So how do you have that conversation with people who have to turn the mirror on themselves and they didn't even think that it was about them in the first place? Now they're caught blindsided because they thought it was the dog, and here you come. No, it's all on you. Oh, great.
Hmm. It can be a tough pill to swallow for
Oh,
for
yeah,
people sometimes. Um,
yeah.
but that's why and of course I do that as tactfully as I possibly can. I don't.
That's the
You
art
should always.
right there. How
Yeah.
you have those type of conversations. That's dog training is not even about dogs. It's how you have those conversations
Right.
without breaking them. How do you build them without breaking them? How do you say it's your fault without breaking them?
Exactly. Or without being disrespectful or offending them or um, yeah, that to me because it's always going to like you said earlier, you could be great with the dogs, but if you're not good with the people, you're never really going to succeed in this world. And so you've got to know how to handle people, how to lead people, how to deal with certain sensitive subjects, and there's kind of like an art to it. And you got to know who's standing in front of you too. You got to understand, okay, what type of person am I dealing with here?
Well, you're assessing the dog. Like when you go, and I think people who trainers who do in homes are the best trainers, pet dog trainers who dealing with real issues. You're gonna be the sharpest because you don't have time to think. You have to improvise and think on your feet. But uh, you're there to evaluate the dog, but you're really barely even looking at the dog. You're subtly looking at the dog. You're reading the people, the kids running around, the parrot that won't shut up, all the other factors that don't have anything to do with the dog. Sometimes it's
one
obvious and it is the dog, but
Yeah, one thing I do when people call me or they reach out and they're because I always do like a phone consult first, and I ask questions and I gather information. Um, but what I always explain to them, and when it comes to solving the problem, is I always say, well, I will come to you guys to do in-home private sessions. So I'll come to you guys, and but the work starts right away. I will assess your dog in the home environment, but I'm going to be seeing I'm going to looking for like how's the family interacting with the dog, because a lot of times the source of the problem is how you communicate with that dog. And so I need to be able to identify how if you're communicating incorrectly with the dog, then I need to be able to identify that, and then I will point that out to you, and then I'll show you how I would communicate with the dog so you could see the difference, and then I'll start to coach you on how to do the same thing. So I kind of I prep them for it by saying I'm going to be observing how you guys handle the dog in the home environment, and that because that's the root of the issue.
and they're
I'm
already
going to
starting to
be
get okay. I need it's I might be the source here.
Yeah. Although
Yeah.
I will say I've had a fair number of people who even over the phone or when we do that first session through watching maybe Dog Whisper or whatever, they will say like, "Oh, I know it's about training the human, not the dog." So I've
I've
heard
heard that.
people say that, yeah. And
I
so
have.
I think people do know, but I've also worked with people who will say that, but I don't think they truly understand it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know,
Yeah,
it's kind of like lip
it's
service, but they still don't truly understand how deep the problem is related to them.
which is why the boarding trains won't work. If the problem really was coming from the human, but they were under the impression that if you just sent them away for 4 to 6 weeks, their problems are gone. But that wasn't the problem.
Right.
So
I've had a lot of people call me and be like, "Well, we sent the dog to a board and train, and the dog listens really well for the trainer,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
listen." I've had a lot of those conversations. But like I was
To
saying, like,
me,
cause Ryan maybe watched. I know he does board and trains, and I had told him I know there are good board and train people out there who will do a lot of follow up at home. I know that, but I think a lot of them don't. I
the
think a lot of them
transition
just
and the follow-ups determine the difference between fly-by-night,
yeah,
shiesty, boarding trains versus
right.
legitimate one. And some are legitimate. If you're dealing with real aggression, removing the dog from the house, and some other situations, like maybe just walking nicely on it. I don't know. I'd rather the human do the work. Personally, it's your
Mm-hmm.
dog. It's like your child. Don't you want to do the
Right.
work?
I agree, Travis. Unless it's dangerous stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with bringing a dog who poses a real threat to the family and having him here for a couple of days so I can work through certain issues. But I can also understand the dog better. I don't have a problem with that because I don't want them to get hurt. But yeah, once it's transferred back to the home environment, yeah, it's like the work is on them. But I'm there with them every step of the way. You
Well, it's like I always say, there are three reasons a dog's not doing what you want. They don't understand. They can't control themselves. They understand, but they can't control themselves, but they want to do it. Or they understand, they don't give a fuck what you
know?
say.
Right.
So I am trying to figure out, are we dealing with a three or we're just dealing with a number one and number two dog? So if it's a board and train, you can almost do the step one and two. But if you're dealing with a dog who just doesn't care what you say, sending them back home won't fix your problem. If you're not dealing with that dog, it might work. If they just didn't know what to do and now they're clear and now they have practice
Mhm.
controlling themselves, that could work.
Yeah.
But like serious psychological trauma, it probably started at that home environment. And as soon as the dog puts feet right back in that environment, the limbic system is going to revert back to that emotional state. Same, as soon as they see, that's why when Caesar takes the dog away from the person, as soon as he comes back, they start doing it again.
Same. It's the
It's
same.
just a
Yeah. It's
simple,
like
it's just a simple chemical response in the brain. I see this, this is what happens.
right,
And
and
I don't
that's
know how
why
much
it's
boarding train is going to fix that.
exactly that's why it's so important once a dog is returned home that the owners understand like okay that you really need to make sure that you change what you're doing otherwise this is not the dog will never adapt the dog will never understand what are the new expectations in this environment and you're never going to help the dog to see the entire environment differently and the dog will not see you did any differently. If you just
I
go back
think
to doing the same stuff you have always done, you're gonna end up with the same problems you had before.
I think a lot of it is making helping people see it from the dog's perspective. Because when I grew up with dogs, I misinterpreted a lot about dogs that I
Hmm.
thought were one way, but now that I've done this for so long, I was so wrong. 'Cause I thought all dogs were just aggressive for no reason.
Hmm.
Most of them, it's fear motivated, insecure dogs. I've never
Exactly.
really
I'd say a
encountered
lot of them.
many very confident dogs who have bitten me. I've been bitten a lot of times.
Yeah.
Most of those are I did something to make them feel a certain way, but if I didn't understand from their perspective, I could totally misread the whole situation.
Right.
But if you
Right.
can see it, if you can help them see it from a dog's perspective, they can have enough empathy to change. Because change is hard for people.
It is.
It's hard
And
enough living.
I empathize with that because I know how hard it is to change. And that's why I don't if because I've had a lot of clients and you probably have too, Travis, where there are just certain things that they know they shouldn't do or they supposed to do, and they'll admit it. They'll admit that like I've been, I know I'm supposed to do this and I haven't been, or I'm struggling with it. I don't sit there and berate them. I don't talk down to them. I don't. It's just like you just offer support. You just remind them how important that thing is. They know, and so at the end of the day, you just offer encouragement. And because if they already know that they have to do this or not do that, that then at the end of the day, they're going to make the decision one way or the other whether they're going to start doing it or not.
And some things are
You can't
compromisable.
force. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Some things
Because
are.
I
Yeah.
meet dogs from rescues, and I'm thinking, okay, 1 billion dogs on the planet, 750 million have no home. This is one of the very lucky ones. If their life is a little bumpy on their path to balance, I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Sure.
But helping people see it that way, because this is the big problem with people who rescue shelter dogs. They feel so sorry for them, the life they must have had, and they
Hmm.
can't do it. And it's hard to do. It's very
The
hard to do.
dog. I think people don't quite grasp the idea that the dog doesn't see it the way they do. The dog, most of the time, if the dog comes from a traumatic place or has bad things that have happened to them, the dog isn't sitting there dwelling on shit. You are.
They
The
might
dog.
respond to a trigger in a certain
Exactly.
moment, but they're not like
Exactly.
we dwell on the past and
Yeah, they're not.
anticipate the future.
Right. Yeah. So it's best to just figure out how do we move forward and give that to them, rather than feeling sorry for them, and it's not going to help anything.
Now, I have found the more I used to do this with shelter dogs who had the sign women only, women handler only. I just take the leash and go. I
Yeah.
don't ask them for to coax them. I don't. I can maybe use food sometimes to sweeten the deal. We just go. We just get on with moving on with life. And there's something about that no hesitation and the vibration that
Yes.
can
Yep.
get a dog unlocked.
Just
But
going.
all
Yep.
that old trying to get them that's too much hesitation. That's too much. It's the dog doesn't feel it as you don't seem very sure of yourself.
I
I'm
agree.
not gonna follow
I
you.
agree.
But if you do feel it, if you move that way, the brain just says I follow.
Yep. I
Yeah,
worked with. There was a session I recorded. It was with a Bernese Mountain Dog, and that was exactly what the owner and the dog needed, because I could tell the dog was looking to the owner for guidance. Like, "Well, I need to know what you want from me." But the owner, when he took the leash and began moving forward, there was a lot of hesitation. He wasn't sure of himself, and so when I noticed that, I say, "Hey, listen, the next time you walk towards that building, just I want you to put it in your mind that she's gonna follow you into the building, and walk with confidence. Just walk like you do this every day."
yeah, exactly. Like you expect it to happen.
Yeah, and as soon as he embodied that, she started to follow him. She didn't resist and pull back, and I was like, there it is,
That right there is almost the. There's so many things that are like the nucleus of the problem. That right there, people don't know, and without knowledge, you're gonna move with hesitation.
Hmm.
But the more knowledge you get, the less hesitation, and the more dogs just move with you.
Right,
And
right.
that comes with knowledge.
And that is not anything related to training, right? That is not dog
No,
training. That is who you're being at that moment.
yeah, how to be is more important than what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think us working with certain types of dogs, I'm sure you can attest to this. Dogs who will bite you if you move the wrong way
Hmm.
will teach you how to channel your inner way of being. Because
Absolutely.
if you move the wrong way, you're going
They
to
call
the ER, and I've been.
yes, they force you to. I actually really appreciate those dogs, because those dogs really bring you in the moment, and they force you
Oh
to
yeah,
slow down. You have to slow down with those dogs, and I love that. It's almost like a little game of chess where I got to figure out, okay, what's the combination to getting to connect with this dog and not get bit, and when I can unlock that and I can get the dog on my side a little bit, it's a beautiful thing. I love it. But it really, yeah, like you said, um, you just have to slow down and kind of, you just got to be present with them for a
That's
minute.
why I don't believe, and maybe you see how you feel about this. Trainers who work with aggression are more skilled than other trainers because it will force you. Nothing will teach you body language quicker than a dog who will bite you.
Hmm.
You'll respect a dog on a whole nother level, and
Hmm.
if they can put you in the yard, or if they have a track record of
Absolutely.
already doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because like I remember the shelter, I Specs was next door. I used to go there to get like sodas and chips on my break, and I had my leg wrapped up. Oh, you got bit? That's terrible. And I would tell him how no, that's actually a good thing. I'm glad I got bit because I
You
did
learned
something
something
real
from it.
stupid,
Yeah, you
and I
learned
bet I
something
won't do it
from it.
again. So
Yep.
now I can reach different types of dogs now because I know better. I know
Exactly.
it's more of learning what not to do than what to do
Hmm. Yep.
because a lot of times we do way too much. And
Yes.
I've paid the cost a few times, a lot of times. What's
I
your worst bite?
yeah, I've got what was my first bite or my
Your
worst?
worst, your
Oh,
worst bite.
my worst is on my arm right here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. There's a scar right. Um, uh, can I get more light? Here, let me get some more
You're
light
probably not
here.
gonna be able to pick it up on the camera.
Maybe I think I just need some more light. So it's actually because I call them battle scars.
Yeah,
I'm really proud of it. Okay, you could probably yeah, you see that there?
yeah. Gotta have a few. Now some
Yeah.
trainers will
So
make you believe, oh, if you haven't, you shouldn't be getting bit. Well, you're not
right,
in the
right.
trenches. You're not out there.
Yeah, you're not exactly. I don't hear that shit. Because exactly, you're not in the trenches. And those bites, like you said, they teach you something. So that bite, I'm real proud of that one because that actually was from a German Shepherd named Rocky, and it was so funny because I it was a younger kid who had this dog, and um, we took the German Shepherd out for a walk, and it was crazy. I was just at the end of my sentence. I had said because he had the leash really tense, and he was behind the dog, and I was saying to him, "Hey, don't you want to relax your arm? Because if you hold the leash tense like that, he's likely to try to attack." And as soon as I was at the end of that sentence, the dog lunges,
Yeah.
and I stepped back, and his canines just I could feel it. The canines just pinched that part of my arm there, and it opened. I mean, literally, it opened the skin up. And so I had just a big open. I could see my muscle, my nerve, everything just opened my arm up, and I mean, it was crazy. So I'm standing there, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking crazy. And the kid just like got pale, and I think he thought like I was gonna sue him or something. And I just look at him like, hey man, you got a bandage? You got something I could wrap it up with? So he goes inside and gets like a cloth, and we wrap it up. And I think anybody else probably would have gone to the hospital or something, but I'm like, nah, fuck it, we're gonna finish this session. So we wrapped it up. We finished. It ended up being a really good session actually. But I made friends with that German Shepherd, and it all went really well. And so yeah, I'm pretty proud of that scar.
And those
That
are
was the worst one I've ever
those are
had. Like I never had my arm opened up like that.
yeah, those are things that would make a lot of people change professions. Okay, I don't like
Yeah.
dogs that much. But if you stay the course, then that means something to me. And if you haven't really been out there enough to
Yeah.
deal with those type of dogs, because he didn't, that dog wasn't mean and wanted to hurt you.
No.
It
No.
responded to extreme stress.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I think too, if you do this for the right reasons, something like that isn't gonna sway you either. You know. And me just being who I am, I can take a hit like that, and I'm not gonna cancel the session. I'm not gonna get mad at the client. I'm not gonna. No, we carried forward. We finished the session, and that was it. I'm not gonna act like a little bitch and whine about. No, it's like, hey, we're good, man. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
yeah, and those bites, some of those bites can make you faint. I've almost passed
Oh
out
yeah,
from bites.
yeah. I've had some. I remember this one right here on my forearm. That one you probably can't see even with the light. So there's a little scar on my forearm there. That was actually I was trying to. I had this black pit bull named Jasper, beautiful pit bull, but he was a big, strong dog. and he was one of those rare, like, dominant, aggressive. I mean, he was a very confident dog. Um, but I had him in my apartment, and him and Bruno, of course, did not get along. And so I was trying to get them outside of the crates in the living room together. And you know how where you could feel the tension, you can see it about to happen,
Hmm.
and I'm looking at both of them like, oh fuck, they're about to fight. But I still had the leashes on them, so I see it coming. They lunge for one another, and I was able to, I grabbed Jasper by the collar and I blocked Bruno with my forearm, and I had him pinned up against my kitchen um, the back wall near my fridge, and I had Bruno pinned up on one side and Jasper on the other. But I mean, they're trying to kill each other, so they're getting closer and closer and closer. And finally, Bruno lunges and but he bites my arms. But once he go, because he would have
Yeah.
never bit me. But his canine went all the way down to my bone, and so it was a big hole where I could see my bone and everything. And that was the kind of pain where it, like, it made your stomach hurt. I felt nauseous. That was so I know what you mean. Where it's like you get them bites where they just kind of, it's
It
not
make your
even so
knees
much the
buckle.
pain. It's like all the, yeah, they make your knees buckle, and it's just, yeah. I've had a couple of those too, man. Those are brutal.
And you don't go to the ER because 50%
Actually,
of
that
dog
one.
bites can.
So that one, I actually, that was back when I was still working with adults with about developmental disabilities, and my client at the time, he had to go to the hospital for something else. So when we were there, I was like, "Fuck it, I might as well get it taken care of."
Bruh.
But I shouldn't have done it though, because when we went, all they did, she just put like some antibacterial stuff in the hole and then put a gauze over it, and that was it. And they charged me like $600. I'm thinking, what?
They're supposed to scrub it
For
out.
Yeah, she didn't do that. She just like
That
poured
you would
some
have been
liquid in
screaming.
there.
You scrub it, scrub it.
Yeah. Yo, she didn't do that. But I'm thinking,
Well,
you put gauze over it and you just disinfected it, and that's $600. Like, I thought she would have like
yeah, I
stitched
could
it
have done
up
that
or
at home
something.
with
No, they didn't do shit.
super glue and some ointment. But yeah, 50% of dog bites can result in infection, so you can lose your arm.
That's something I've been worried about too. Anytime I get like that bite when it opened my arm up, I was worried about that, but I still didn't. I didn't go to the hospital. I'm just like, all right, let's make sure I clean
Yeah.
it. But I was worried about it getting infected. Um, Fortunately, it hasn't happened yet. But
Well, hopefully it happens less and less and less and less. I mean, it's been a while
yeah,
for me.
no, yeah. When Clark came here, I had bite gloves. I wore my steel toe boots. And so when he bit my hands and shit, like, I didn't. He didn't put any marks on me or anything. So yeah, I've just been a little more careful with how I do it in with recent dogs. Um, but I'm not, it never, because I've had people even ask me, they're like, well, doesn't that make you scared of dogs? Isn't it? And I'm not. It's never caused me to hesitate around an aggressive dog or to be scared or, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I've kind of internalized it, and I know it may
Who's this?
make
Who is
some
this goof?
people.
Who's this goofball? I
Santa,
remember
yeah,
like
I never seen Santa.
they come out of all they coming out of the gutter today.
Yeah,
But man, the last one I got bit, my last bite, it was a 100-pound German Shepherd Malamute mix. And I remember I pulled up to the house and the husband came outside. He kind of shimmied his way out to the front porch and met me. And he had this look on his face, like he was scared for me.
yeah.
And I say, you came out to meet me? Is he that hardcore? And then his wife shimmying her way out in the same look. I was like, is he really like that? Yeah. So we'll put him on a leash. Make sure he's on a leash, and I'm gonna come inside. And they're thinking liability. And then we talked for a minute. He's not doing anything. So I said, you can let the leash go. Just let it go. And he didn't do anything. We went sat down on the couch. He just kind of was walking around slowly, just walking around. And then he kind of I'm talking to the people, and he comes around the coffee table, kind of slowly just works his way around the coffee table and just walks up right next to me and just stares at me. And I knew he was telling me to move or get the
Mm-hmm.
fuck out of his house.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what he was telling me. And I didn't move, and he hit me right here. I think he was aiming for my face. He hit me right here on my shoulder, and I stood up,
Ooh.
and then he got me right here. So he was trying to hit me a bunch of
Yeah.
times, but he still had the drag line on. So I had to, like Muhammad Ali, focus on this hand so I can. So I had to
Yep.
do that and then reach for the leash, and then he tapped out immediately. But I don't think that dog ended up making it. He was way too much for those people, and they live in like the woodlands. Like you can't. There's certain neighborhoods that how there's certain neighborhoods you can kind of get away with those type of dogs, but there's some they'll never tolerate that type of behavior from dogs in that
Oh yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't think he made it,
That
but
sucks.
some dogs can be. That kind of dog could have been 30 pounds and could have survived just because he's smaller. But a dog, once they get 50, 60 pounds and up,
And it's
you
a
know,
German Shepherd and Malamute. There's going to be, although there's not as much stigma anymore with the Shepherds, but maybe in neighborhoods like that, there's still, if it's a Rottie or a Pit or a German Shepherd, they may still be like, no, gotta go. Um, I guess it depends on where you live, really, but
how do you feel about rescues adopting out these powerful breeds to just somebody because they like them? What screening process? Because I didn't used to think along those lines, but I do now. Because
yeah,
there's
I
people whose
don't.
dogs have been killed, cats, kids have been mauled.
Right.
Not the dogs I've placed, but I've heard the stories.
I don't. I, and it's something I see a lot with social media too, where you have all these people that kind of glorify, they make it glamorous to have these big, strong power breeds, and I don't agree with that. I think now some places will tell you like if you adopt this pit, you got to take training classes. I mean that's its own problem because it's like, what is this training class really going to help you with if it's not the right kind of training, so to speak? But um, I don't think just any random person should. It's not the right fit. If you don't have the experience and don't have the skills to be able to handle a strong breed like that, then you really shouldn't have it. I think that's where a lot of the problems with the pits or the Rotties or whatever come from is you get people who will adopt them and they don't. It's out of their depth. They don't have any business having it because they're not ready for it, or they're going to be irresponsible with them. You know.
And irresponsibility in that case can end in like there was one dog, it was this dog named Rue, red nosed pit. She was probably 90 pounds, was there for about a year. No one ever asked about her. They just walked past her kennel every time, cropped ears. She finally got adopted out and killed a cow and was returned.
Oh, kill the cow!
And
Whoa!
then she was
Woo!
readopted out to some family with a bunch of kids. And I thought I love this dog, but one of those all they have to do is leave the door open, and somebody's dog
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
is dead.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to be the one to make that decision at a shelter, but I see dogs all the time that probably shouldn't. It's too much
I've
dog
had
for
this.
those people.
I've had this. And maybe it's controversial, or a lot of people might not agree with it, but I have thought that shelters should, if there are dangerous dogs that end up in shelters, like dogs that have serious bite records or dogs that are, then I don't have a moral issue with euthanizing those dogs and to make room for the dogs who are most suitable for families, that are
That's
more
the other
easy to
argument.
adopt out.
That's
You
hard to
know,
argue with that. It can save 10 in the time it takes to save the one. It's
right,
hard to argue with that
right, yeah,
because when
because
you meet those
it's
sweet
just,
dogs, they're
yeah, yeah. It's like you deserve you could be in a home, and it's
yeah.
but so yeah, but that's my personal stance on it. because it's this there's so much overcrowding as it is, and it's like, well, what are we supposed to do with that? There's only so many directions we can go with it, and if we want to give the really good dogs the best possible chance, then I mean that would be the best. To me, the at least the most um, efficient route. And you could also limit the amount of dangerous dogs that end up in homes that you could end up with a kid being killed or something. It didn't need to happen.
Well, I mean, these private rescues are they're already the dogs are already in a sense vetted because they've already gone through municipal shelters and they've already been kind of vetted through their process intake process. So, but there are rescues who pull from the youth list. So I don't know, because ours did that we pulled from the bottom 20% of the youth list, the last ones with bite histories and short hair blocky head dogs. So I don't know, but in Houston,
There's
it's
some
definitely hard
dogs
to have
too.
that.
Oh, go ahead and finish.
Well, it's hard to have that argument, especially in Houston, LA, places where there are strays everywhere. There are 10 you can save so fast.
Right,
It's hard to argue. Makes my job almost obsolete because I'm finding it harder and harder to argue with that.
right, and well, because I don't know. So, like with Bruno, right? I don't know if the shelter just didn't know about his issues or if they
Oh,
did
yeah,
and they
yeah.
still so sometimes because I'm thinking like, all right, let's say they didn't know. I mean, Bruno, he was a smart dog, so I'm thinking like, did he just sort of control himself because he was in that environment, and then once he finally was able to get out, then he let it all loose. I don't know if are there dogs that are cunning enough to be like, I'm just gonna lay back for a little bit,
Um,
wait till I can get out of this situation, and then I'll wreck shop. Um, so there may be dogs that could deceive in that way of like, you don't know that they're aggressive, they're dangerous until they're adopted out. You know what I mean?
oh, that's true.
Um,
And I know my rescue that I've worked with has suddenly backed out of dealing with. They had 200 dogs in the program. Half of them had behavior problems because they were taking community intakes. Someone finds a dog, can you take it in? And they take in this adult dog they don't know anything about. So now they only take puppies because they found out that if there's any prior knowledge, the board members get sued personally.
Damn.
So they
Okay.
won't
So
even touch any dog that even looks aggressive at all. They
wow.
won't even
Okay.
do it. So that's why they don't call me anymore because they don't have those dogs. They only pull puppies, which grow up to have problems too. So,
Sure. Yeah. If you don't raise them right, then of course you're gonna have issues.
but this is what people are doing now. That's why I say in 5 or 10 years the landscape will look totally different at this pace.
I think it will. I think it will. The culture. Everything seems to be moving faster these days, and so um, I was surprised though that say like the tool bans didn't happen quicker. I thought for sure that would be as controversial as it seemed to be getting, and you got the Zach George types out there. I thought for sure we would see more of
Well,
that
they're trying.
happening.
Is Australia banned?
Australia, I believe, is banned. Mishy, you tell me. I believe Australia has banned e-collars. Well, no, 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 maybe not. I don't know. Maybe parts of Australia. I don't think all of Australia has banned e-collars. I think there are certain states in Australia that have. Star marks. Star mark is like a plastic type of prong collar. Those
Yeah.
are banned. Um, I think in the UK crates are banned in some places.
Yep.
So I mean there has been some of it, but
I just think they've been
I
trying here. They just can't. We're too rugged. They're having a
right,
hard time,
right, yeah.
but they've
I
been
know
trying.
in New York, I know they tried to get something passed, but denied.
Well,
There was a
it's like
bill.
people believe like Zach George is not even really a dog trainer. He's only paid to push this message. He's not a dog trainer. He
Yeah,
never touches dogs.
I
I
think
think that's
there's
true.
a yeah. I think there's some truth to that for sure. I actually
Victoria
did.
Stillwell. I don't think they
Right.
touch dogs.
I tried to do a little digging and see if I could find any, like, does he take funding from any? Is there somebody that kind of funds the operation? Is this a money
Chewies.
game?
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't
Sponsored by
find
Chewies.
anything, but I'm like, there's got to be something going on here, somewhere. Um, because I do find it awfully suspicious that guys like him, and just the way they go about it too. Yeah, I'm like, there's got to be somebody behind the scenes, kind of, pulling the strings here.
And I don't get his stuff on my feeds anymore. But I wonder what's up with Gage, the Conor Corso that he
That's
took
that.
on.
Hey, Will, if you're watching, me and Will talk about this too. Like, yeah, whatever happened to that kind of Corso? He just never. We don't know. We don't know
Oops.
what happened. Right?
Had to
Yeah.
rehome him. Wasn't anything. Wasn't a
Whoops.
big deal. But last video I saw, he was struggling. He was trying to get him to recall or something, and the dog was running around the yard, wasn't listening to him. And he was like, "Oh crap,
Yeah.
what have I done?" Or something
I
like
think I
that.
saw
And then
that
like
video.
the last
Yeah.
time I saw, yeah,
I think I saw
it
that
gets
video.
real.
And then you know what? I'll give Zach credit. He took that. He was working with a Malinois. I don't remember the name of the dog, but he
What?
even admitted. Yeah, I don't. This was maybe a couple years ago. He
Uh,
did admit. He admitted that he had to use quote aversive control to get that dog to listen, and he admitted that that dog was probably a little too much for him. And I was
that's
like, you
fair.
know what, Zach? Yeah, I was like, you know what, Zach? I can't stand your ass, but I respect you for saying that.
I've uttered those very words myself before. That dog is too much.
It's too much.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Sure. No, and it's uh, you're being honest with yourself, and you're being honest with the client. If it's something that you really don't think you can help them with, then um,
Have you ever had to tell a client, I could help you, I just can't co-sign this?
there've been a couple of cases where I didn't doubt that I could handle the dog, but I seriously doubted that the owner would be able to do it, that it would be a good fit, that even if we got the problem solved, that I don't think I'm like, I don't know if the owner is up for this. I don't know if they can handle this. And so I've had to tell people that before. I don't like it, but um, I've had a couple of dogs though where I was like, can this problem be solved? And so then those people I will tell like, all right, listen, here's what we'll do. I'll show up, we'll do a session, but I'm not going to charge you. I want to see is this workable? And then we go from there. And I had a dog. It was a German Shepherd named Rocky, who he was one of them, where it was one of those abnormal situations where there was something just not right with the dog. And my only conclusion was because they used a bunch of e-collars on this dog. I'm like, they must have just lit this dog up and just like this dog was not right. And so that was one where I couldn't I could not get anywhere with this dog, and it was an older woman and her daughter adopted the dog and then kind of just left the dog to her grandma. She just passed the responsibility on to her grandma, and her grandma was not fit to handle this young German Shepherd. So I had to tell him, listen, um, I think you should find like a sanctuary for this dog. I don't think this is not a good situation for either you or the dog. Like I don't think, but she didn't want to hear it, and so I don't know what happened to the dog. But I at least had to be honest with her and tell her that.
And Liam, no, you have not been blocked. We still
No, of
see.
course not, Leanne. Are you
No, we
calling
don't.
us misogynistic?
And
See
I see
that
you sent reinforcements after me, but that's all right. You're not blocked.
that's that's the retort though, right? When you're toxically masculine, you're misogynistic.
Oh,
That's
by
that's the
default.
yeah. Hey,
But these
Leanne,
50,
I, I still love you, Leanne. You're still welcome, but you say what you want.
these little fifth graders that I used to work with in 2023, they were big on Andrew Tate. Those boys,
Yeah,
they were really getting
I
into
remember
that
all that.
because
I remember all
they
that.
felt played by the girls. They felt, and they were really getting into it.
Did they?
I think he's kind of faded off the scene, but yeah,
Yeah,
his era when he was the most
yeah.
Googled person in the world,
Oh,
2022, I think.
it was. Yeah, I remember that
And
he
yeah,
was everywhere.
And he did open up a. I don't want to reopen the can of worms, but he did. He opened up the conversation. I think Myron and these other type of people have been kind of doing that. Fresh and fit.
Yeah, I
They've been
can't
kind of
stand
doing
Myron
that.
though. I cannot fucking stand Myron Gaines.
I can't either.
I
Yeah.
hate that guy. I hate that guy. Andrew Tate for a while though, I really liked listening to him, but there was a point where I was like, is this the, a lot of what Andrew would say about masculinity? I was like, yeah, right on the money. I love that. But there was just other things where I'm like, I don't know if this is the right message for young boys. You know, like I think the principles are good. Let's just maybe we can convey this or especially for younger boys. I think there's a better way we can do this.
And I don't like these people who get on the internet as a character and say all this stuff as a character, but it's just for
Yeah,
show. And I'm supposed.
it's an easy
Are
scapegoat, right?
you?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
being a
yeah.
character.
Exactly. No, be you or don't come. Yeah. So I can't tell if he was being him or he was just doing it for like Charleston White.
Right,
He said, "Oh no, it's just a character. No,
right,
I don't take
right,
anything I say seriously." Well, I don't want to take
right,
you seriously then. I'm not gonna take you serious.
right. Yeah. Now, I mean, of course, there's a time and place for jokes and whatever. I'm fine with that. Like when I joke about putting up, when I joke about this shit, it's a joke. There
Oh,
are people
Dale
that
got
take it
you.
seriously.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Dale thought
yeah.
you were
Hey Dale,
serious.
I know Dale's is watching. Hey Dale, screenshot it again. It's a fucking joke though. But hey, I don't think he understands the concept of being trolled. But I do it
I
because it
doubt it.
upsets him so much. you know? I know it
Yeah,
upsets him, so I
he
do it.
probably loses sleep behind it. So I'm sure.
I know. No, I love it. It's so fucking hilarious. Um, but it's like, when have I, I'm not, when have I ever said I'm anti-Christian? My parents are Christian. I love my parents. I got a great relationship with my parents. I'm an atheist, but I don't, I have no problem with people's religion or, people believe what they want. It's not, it ain't none of my business, first of all. But what I don't like though, Travis, is people who hide behind religion or people who they seem to think religion is like off the table for criticism. It's like don't criticize my religion. How dare you? I'm like, why? Why is it off the table? I can
Yeah,
understand
right.
family. Yeah, family. Yeah, okay, family. I understand off the table, but religion? Why
To
is it off the
me,
table?
anything I believe in is on the table.
Yeah,
I'm willing to
exactly.
discuss anything I stand by with anybody. You can question
I
it
agree.
all day long. Anybody. And Neely,
I agree.
he used to. He made a hit piece about me a couple times, but
I
Dale
remember that. I
Dale
remember
does
that.
not engage with me at all. He's blocked me from
No,
everything.
he doesn't. Well, he's
Uh
recently unblocked everybody, so you could probably go say something
oh,
to him if you want on his channel.
okay.
Yeah, I've left a few comments over there, but then I was like, so he's unbanned everybody. I've said my piece, and now it's just like I've done everything I can do. No,
I still
unless
wanted
he won't have a
he
debate. So I'm like,
I have no
it's time to
interest
move
in
on.
debating Dale. I'm not sure we have anything to discuss. I don't choke dogs out, so
Which,
we don't
hey,
have
by the
anything
way,
to
because
discuss.
yeah, because he wants to say that's inflammatory rhetoric. But if you look up the definition of choking, it says to produce a feeling of strangulation. And
Which is
if you
exactly
put
what
a
I saw.
choke, yes, if you put a choke chain, funny how they call it a choke chain. If you put a choke chain around a dog's neck and apply pressure, and you can audibly hear the dog struggling to breathe, then that would
Yeah.
be a feeling of strangulation, wouldn't it?
There's one thing to put it at the top, the slip at the top of the neck, and gently apply upward pressure until
Right,
they do something and then release the pressure.
right,
You shouldn't be
right.
not bringing them off the ground,
Right. I
making
know,
them
right?
gag and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I have nothing
I
to
know.
debate with him. But Robert, I
That's
wouldn't mind. I still will debate Robert if you're
you want
watching.
to debate Robert?
Just because I
Yeah.
like getting under his skin. That's
And see that's the point is the whole reason like do that because I know it gets under Dale's skin and I love that. I love getting under his skin. It's so satisfying, you know.
Mark. I have no interest in
Um,
getting under his skin.
yeah, Mark, whatever, Mark's
Small
not, but like
fries,
I could,
small fries.
yeah, because I said we've slayed the dragons recently and we slayed the Robert dragon, we slayed the Dale dragon. I said Mark ain't even a dragon, so it don't even count,
No.
but.
And like Robert, you're not a final boss, so don't
No.
don't
I know
get your
I put
ego swelled up.
I know I put that in the title and now he keeps trying to use that like, well, if I'm the final, but no, I was like that was just a cheeky, it was just to get some attention in the
Oh,
title.
he probably loved that.
Oh, I'm sure he did like that.
I mean,
But I don't know, and I'm sure you understand this though, Travis. I don't have any respect for anybody who can sit and spend so much time talking shit and lying and misrepresenting, but they won't debate. They won't engage with you face to face. To me, that's just some bitch ass shit. Like, don't. That's not. Men don't handle shit that way. If you have no issue, and then you want to go in the comments and go back and forth in the comments, but you won't have an actual conversation. You miss me with that
yeah,
shit. That's
that's I can't respect it.
no. It's like
But
some female shit.
and if you got to get it from a book, you probably
And
don't know.
only a book. And
You
only a
probably
book. Yeah, it's. I.
everything you know is really within you. Really, it's all a matter of exposing yourself and trial and error.
Mhm.
You can kind of get some assistance, but Skinner is not going to show me how to do it.
No, I think Skinner. So, because I've been talking to Pete Reeford, and Pete Reeford explains it so much better than Robert. But I think the benefit to learn the reading Skinner would just be about learning like fight or flight, the limbic, that sort of that level of things. But when you're dealing with dogs, you have that level, and then you have you know um, the social level on top of that. Then you have, say, the socialization level, and then you have to deal with what is the natural mentality of the dog. Yeah, there's so many layers to it. So reading books on only one layer is not. It doesn't answer the questions.
No, you would have to need practical application, real life application, and then back to the
Right.
book and back to this and back to that. And that's what I did with Dog Whisperer, back and forth, back and
Exactly.
forth.
I did the
And I read
same
the
thing.
book and I took notes and I took more notes and I rewound it and watched it again and took more notes and I went to the shelter and
Yep.
applied it and then I figured out where I was doing it wrong and
Figured it out for yourself. Yeah,
yeah.
it was I did the same thing. It was trial and error. I'd watch, I'd study, I'd learn, and then I would test it. I'd go out and apply it and see um, what
Oh,
works
but
and what
when I
doesn't.
heard of Brandon, I was you can ask people at the shelter. I said I'm gonna go to the shelter and pull 10 dogs out on a 20-foot long line. And like the Brandon Ariel video where he has Ariel on that long line.
Hmm.
I did that with 10 dogs and 5 out of 10 responded.
What did he
But
do with that? You mean where he's claiming? Because I was that the one who's in the parking lot?
yeah, he's just saying
Okay.
the long line is there as a safety backup, but I want to control you 100% with energy body language and some
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
And if I can get in your head and control you with just crouching down just a little bit in the right time and release the pressure by standing back up, even moving your
Hmm.
foot that way. Just those little simple things that dogs are watching. And
Hmm.
if you know how to use those subtle movements, so you don't
Absolutely.
need those tools. That's why it's so frustrating. I wish they would f- find out how cool that really is.
I
That's
know, and
power.
it really it changes the game. It really it gives you a deeper understanding of communication. When you can understand all those subtleties and how to apply them and how your dog is interpreting it. I mean, what would you rather do? Do you have to use a bunch of tools and hit buttons, or would you rather understand like the nuances of the communication, being able to internalize it, and you being the tool? It's like I can go anywhere and meet any dog, and I have those skills ready to go, and I know how to play that game. That to me is so much cooler than just slapping an e-collar on a dog.
Right. And how many times have I I wanted to take them off leash somewhere and the damn e-collar wasn't charged up.
Right, or maybe
I don't
yeah, or
want
the
to
battery
rely on
dies or
that.
something.
I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
rely on that stupid stuff.
exactly,
We end up
exactly.
just going anyway because I already know I got her. I'm already here. I'm already in her head. So I'd rather have it as insurance as an extra, extra, extra. We don't really need it, but that type of stuff, I don't want to have it on them all the time. Like that one trainer, I won't mention his name, but he asked his client, "Are you prepared to have this on your dog long term?" What does that mean?
Right.
No,
What does that mean?
I
Yeah.
don't want it at all. I don't definitely don't want it long term. I don't know what he meant by that, but I get the impression some of these trainers want you to wear their dog to wear it 24/7.
that's to me that's not success. If the dog's
No,
got to wear for the rest of their life,
no, that's not a trained dog. And I even see
no.
people in the sport dog world who compete, who have prong collars on the dogs on the field, shot collars. And I'm wondering, yikes, can you guys even? And they'll
This
say, well, our dogs are more hardcore. You see, our dogs are come from certain. Have you ever been to a shelter? They'll say shelters, they're just supercharged the wrong way. And there are trainers, sport dog people who will stop people on the street and ask to buy their dog because they've done such a good job of accidentally expressing those genetics. And the sport dog trainer, can I'll give you 5,000 for that dog. So this claim that like pet dogs are soft, there are some soft ones, but they're more dangerous. It has alluded to that. They're even more unpredictable and more when they start biting, it's a different type of, it's a fight for their life kind of bite versus a dog who's been trained from birth,
right.
to participate in this game.
Yeah, that's Jasper, the Malinois owners. They she told me, she said she met this it was a trainer somewhere. Um and she's like, "Yeah, this guy told me because Jasper's a Malinois that he has to do bite work." And now fortunately, she's like that's fucking stupid. But I'm thinking like, do just cuz he's a Malinois doesn't mean he has to do bite work. I mean, it's a
Wait,
stupid thing.
she said that somebody recommended to her because it's a Malinois, it should be doing bite work.
Yeah, she said she talked to another trainer at one point, and he said because he's a Malinois, he's got to do bite work. And I'm like, fortunately, she didn't buy it. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm thinking, what the no way,
This is commonly suggested to people. There are
right?
a lot of trainers who suggest that to people. They have to do what they're born to do.
Yeah,
Do they? Do they? We're
I don't.
built for war. We have to go out and engage in combat?
We don't have
We
to.
may play basketball to simulate it, and maybe if you're talking about that in some kind of way to simulate some type of conflict
Right.
challenge that you overcome. But biting, this is why they hate Brandon. I remember there was 7 people. There was a group I was in, and Jay Jack went and did some research on Brandon while I was in the group, and came back and trashed him. He just dogged him over his list of no videos.
Oh yeah,
That's all he
yeah.
watched. That's all he
You got a
watched.
lot of heat for that.
And
You got a
he and
lot of
he
heat for that
tore
dude.
him up over that. But they promote this stuff all the time. Express the drive. And I'm all for it as much as you want, but you have to teach them breaks first. They have to understand zero and then one and then two and level three and then level four and then level five. Don't tell them to go to level 10 if they don't know what they're doing. These are regular pet people, but they'll put flirt poles and tug toys, which is fine for some dogs, but people who have dogs with behavioral issues, uh, I think it's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't recommend that either. That's not where we start. You can eventually get to a
No.
place where you can do that shit, but that's
Yeah.
we scrap all that if we got serious issues. We're not doing any of that shit.
Well, I had a dog
Um,
today. I'm just helping these people, and I was supposed to go play with him in the backyard today for lunch right before we got on. And it was like I start tugging with him because I felt like, well, this is what they do with him. I'm just gonna do what they normally do with him, and I could just feel how his energy was changing.
yeah,
He's
right.
very
Yep.
submissive, and then you could see it start to come out. And I start thinking, this is not what I was. This is not the relationship I want to have with you. You're gonna.
Right. Right.
It's easy for you to get confused by our relationship if I allow that. If I allow you to challenge me, if you don't understand how this works.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
There's when you engage in certain things like that with certain dogs, and you see that escalation start to happen. You see the there it's like a gear shifts in their head. you know right away, like, okay, this was a bad idea. I should not have done this, and that's why I tell people, like, we just don't. These are things you could plan for the future, but for now, don't do it, because the last thing you want to do is excite the dog or stimulate the dog or give the dog the wrong idea, and now you've got a problem on your hands, and it's just not. Don't put yourself in that
Right,
position.
because I was playing with them and with the tug, and I was asking myself, what body language would indicate that this is an acceptable activity to play with this dog or an unacceptable? His ears were back at first. Then they started getting more here. And you could see the excited dominant come out. So he was getting excited, but he was getting excited dominant. And then we ended the game. But that's what a lot of people don't see, the difference between excited submissive. I'm being excited and I'm playing with you, but my ears are back and I'm still submissive with you,
Right.
almighty leader, but I'm still playing with you, almighty leader, versus, oh, you're letting me challenge you. Now this energy is coming out. I don't know why that's promoted, but it is.
Yep. I don't like it either, and I can see it, and I don't like it, and I don't, like you said, the people that are just constantly like, you gotta do what the dog was naturally, what's in its genes, and it's the breed, they focus on breed, and they tap into those natural drives, and
Well, all your
I don't want to
clients are
brand it.
cattle dogs. What are they supposed to do?
Yeah, yeah,
What are you supposed to
or
tell them? Go find some cows? What
right,
the
or
fuck?
pit
It's
bulls. I
just
mean,
not.
to me
Go
the pit
find a
bulls
dog to go fuck up.
right.
Go
To me,
find
the
a
pit
dog to
bulls
kill.
is a prime example of, like, well, if that were true, then that would mean that I would need to get all my pit bull clients into dogfighting. Yeah, it doesn't add up.
Because that's what dog fighters say. They love to do it. They love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and
That's
it's
what they say.
but I
I used to know
it's
a
like,
bunch of dog fighters.
yeah,
That's what they would say. They love to do it. So
crazy.
why not? Then why not do it?
Right,
Because it's
right. Yeah,
stupid.
if that's in their
That's what-
genes, if that's what they were bred for, why not? Why aren't we
and
doing?
it's
Why aren't we?
what is it's actually they love to please their owner. They love to do
Yeah,
anything they tell them. They'll even die for it.
yeah.
That's the reality.
It's crazy.
And I've seen like anyway, that's a whole nother. I used to know people who did that stuff, and they get puppies, poke them, and get them frustrated, and
Yeah, and they do
get
stuff
them
to piss
ready.
them off, and yeah, I can't stand that shit. Drives me
Yeah.
nuts. Or when you see videos of people, like, these stupid challenges where they'll deliberately do stuff to annoy the dog, and I'm just like, y'all gotta stop doing this. It's so disrespectful. Oh, hold on. I think Leanne.
Yeah.
I saw something with Leanne here. She said, "What do you?" Hold on. Let me catch up here. She said, "What do you
Yeah,
say?"
we can
Hold
do
on. I don't
question
know
and
what you mean,
answer if
Leanne.
y'all
What
want.
do I say to what? Yeah, if you guys want to answer some questions, that's fine.
Mhm.
What do you? I don't know if Leanne's still in the room. What do you mean? You said, Kevin. What do you say, man? I don't. Um, I'm not sure what you mean. Let's see. I don't see anything that would answer that question here. Maybe she'll answer the question for me. We'll see. Yeah, Leanne, if you're still in the room, just let me know, because I saw you said, Kevin. What do you say to that, man? Just let me know what you meant. Um, actually, so what do you think about this, Trev? This is something that, because it's just my best guess, but when because I'm sure you've heard it before, where people will talk about, they'll describe maybe the aggression their dog exhibits, and they'll say stuff like, "Oh, it just came out of nowhere," or it's so random, there's no rhyme or reason to it, and the only conclusion I can come to is that, let's say if I have a dog who believes it runs the house, it may appear random or for no real reason or whatever, because the dog has made rules for you that you're not aware of, and if you break one of those dog's rules, it's going to discipline you. And so it appears like it's random, but it's really just the dog has a set of rules that you'll never know about until you do something to violate one of those rules. I mean, so what? What do you think about that? Like, what would be your 2 cents
Um, I'm trying to can you reframe it? Can you
No, I
reframe
was
the
just saying,
question?
like, what do you think about like, because my best conclusion or my best guess too when I hear people they describe they have aggressive dog where they'll say
Oh, I
it's
okay, yeah, I know what you're
random, it's
saying.
for
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it
Well,
looks
like,
like it's for no reason, but I look at it like to me my best guess would be that dog has made rules for you guys. If it believes it's in control, it's made rules for the family, and if you violate one of those rules, it's going to discipline you. So it looks random, or like it's no for no apparent reason, but in the dog's mind, it means something completely different.
yeah, it's like Bam Bam, who I have here. He used to do this thing where he would park in front of doorways, in, right at thresholds. He's trying to control movement in the house, and it's those little things that happen all the time with those type of dogs. And they're constantly being emboldened, and then eventually you just happen to your infraction had to be caught them on a bad day, or it was a big enough infraction and you got disciplined for it, but it was already building up the whole time.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have issues, because if I ever see him laying in front of doorways, he has to move. So I don't even allow for those moments to build up and build up and build
Yeah,
up
because
until,
you see where it's leading. Yeah, you know where it's
yeah,
going.
it's yeah, or like Millie parking herself at in a room looking at the doorway for any dog that comes in that door. I already know what she's doing, but it would take somebody to be proactive enough and observant enough to see those type of things. But everybody's not going to get disciplined for every little thing by the dog.
Right.
The dog's just gonna eventually decide to check you on it, and then they'll think it's random, but they have had their eye on you since last week over that couch. You just happened to just happen to figure it out. But unless there's some pain or medical issue, it's never really
Right.
random. It doesn't ever really just surface out of nowhere. There's always a buildup. Most people just don't see the buildup.
I agree. So you would say that it would probably be a reasonable conclusion that if somebody said that your best guess would also be like you're violating a dog's rule and it but it's been building and now the dog is finally telling you that you're breaking a rule
Yeah, the dog may have been giving warnings with the eyes and just maybe building up the confidence to check you on it,
to follow through on it. Yeah.
and then they just do it. They put eyes on you and you think twice about sitting on the couch. Now they're even more emboldened, because now they feel like,
Right.
well, if I up the ante some more, I can get the whole couch.
Exactly.
So it's hard to know what, because different dogs would do it for different reasons.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if it's to what's the word, protest, versus it being a misunderstanding of intentions, that's different.
Sure.
But if it's
Yeah,
to
definitely.
protest, then yeah, they've been telling you the whole time. You just haven't,
Oh yeah. Yeah, you just
walking
haven't seen it.
around acting all with attitude, and
Yep.
it's there. I don't
Posturing.
let I don't let that stuff slide at all. There's a reason why we have not had one fight in this house in 20 something years. I've had all type of dogs through here. We never have fights ever. 'Cause if I even see it at all, I'm on your top like a kufi. I address it immediately. Any sign of dominance or aggression or assertiveness at all. If it's not playing and it's mutual play and it's like kind of like that, or telling a dog to move away from the bone, because Sailor's having to do that with the new puppy because the new puppy doesn't listen. So I'm letting him tell her to move. But which is interesting. At what point do you intervene? Because he's telling her, but she's not listening.
Yeah, at that point. Yeah,
She
so
ain't
for
listening.
me, yeah, then like if the dog has something you've given them permission to have, and another dog tries to come take it, and that dog is saying back the fuck off, and that dog who's
Hmm.
coming in doesn't listen, then I will step in. Although, well, with Goose has special privileges,
She
right?
can
So
handle
with
her
Goose,
own.
yeah,
She'll
she
fall
can
through.
handle it. She will snap at the dog, and I will let her do it because she is very balanced about it. But if that dog still doesn't listen, then I'm stepping in and backing her up. So,
Yeah, this one doesn't listen.
because
Even if humans step in, she's just like,
fuck off.
oops.
Yeah,
I'm telling my mom, you got a tough one
yeah,
because she ain't
yep,
scared of shit. I
yeah.
don't want her to be scared, but I do, if you know what I mean. I
I know
want
what you mean. Just a
it's
healthy
not the
respect.
word I want to use, but you know what I mean. If there's no fear of the police, you're gonna ride around at speed until you kill yourself. And they've taken me to
Exactly.
jail.
Yeah.
I've been to jail for speeding.
Mhm.
Hey, they don't play in Houston, but
I've done, I've definitely done some dangerous speeds, but I never got caught. So, um,
I mean, police
fortunately,
will save your life. Even people who go to jail, prison saves people's lives. Cause
definitely, yeah, sure, yeah. It's, you know, and sometimes it could be preventative, or DUIs even. They may cop may pull you over before you've killed somebody, and they may maybe
exactly.
you may save a life there. What did Leanne say here? Hold on, let's see. No, Leanne, I'm trying to ask you what you mean here. I don't know. I had
Why is
asked you the
she?
question. Yeah, we're not, Leanne. We're not keeping up with the comments because we're talking. So I'm not.
Yeah, and I'm confused because I had said don't let the door hit you on where the dog should have bit you. After she said I don't like this guy, he's this and this and this and this and that. I didn't start with any of that kind of stuff, so I don't know. Are we still on that? Is
I don't know. Well, Leanne had said something about, because I still haven't gotten an answer to that when she said, "Are you? What are you saying, man?" I don't know what. I just wanted to know what she meant. Um, I did scroll up, Leanne, and I don't. I haven't. I didn't find an answer to it. Just let me know what did you pose a challenge or something? Did you pose a request? I don't know.
yeah, maybe she doesn't watch
Wait,
Martin.
well,
If
hold
you
on.
ever
She
watch the
she
TV
said
show
you're upset.
Martin,
You're
it's
upset. She said, wait. She says she's upset because her feelings were hurt from the guest. Well, what did Travis do to hurt your feelings? What, was it with the comment about getting bit walking out the door?
that's a from the TV show Martin. If you, maybe everyone's not from the U.S. They don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know. I
That's
don't know.
a old
I
Martin
think
line.
Leanne's from the U.S. Oh,
Down at the doorknob,
the one
hit you
about
with a
getting bit
dog,
out the
should have
door.
bit you. Who
Yeah.
who was that said that? Was it
I think
Shanae? I
it's
think
just a
said that.
turn of phrase, Leanne.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
not.
Well, I mean, I guess
I
so.
don't
Look at
wish
it
a
this way,
dog to
Leanne.
bite you.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't. He didn't wish a dog to bite you, but you had said you don't like him. So I guess maybe he's just wondering why you don't like him.
Because I
So
said go to war. I said go to war over your dog when you
oh,
take the dog for a walk, and then it was like that's how it all started, and like okay, whatever it is.
which which I know what you meant, Travis. You're simply saying if a dog runs up on you, you should be prepared to protect your dog.
You should be prepared to go all the way. If you're not, you shouldn't have that dog tethered on a leash where they can't defend themselves. That's not for her. That's for anybody. That's for
Yeah,
whoever. If you
I know what
attach
you
your
mean.
dog to a tether, you better be able to save their life because we got run up. It was me and Prince. We got run up by a pit bull, and I thought, shoot, I can't say anything because if I say something, I could trigger the thing I'm trying to avoid because it happened so fast. Boom, he was right
Mm-hmm.
there.
I know what you
I
mean.
couldn't I
Yep.
couldn't keep him. He was already coming in too hot. If that pit decided to go mental, I would have killed it if I had to.
I hear you.
Without,
You
I'd have
you
choked
do
it
what you
out
got to do.
first,
You do what you
but I
got
would
to
have gone
do.
to war for Prince for sure.
Yeah, it's either you or the dog.
Exactly.
What did he say, Leanne? That was weird though. I don't know. What do you mean? What did he say to you that was weird?
It was the war
I haven't heard
comment.
Travis say
Let's
anything
keep
weird. I
it.
don't know. I mean, no one's trying to be disrespectful intentionally here, Leanne. So I don't. We're all trying to just have a civil conversation, you know. Okay, well, that, now the truth comes out. Okay, unless you're joking about that, I don't know. Um, yeah.
As long as you're joking.
Okay. All right. Well, then we can move on then.
But
All
then you
right.
had somebody else. But then you had somebody else come in to back you up. Are they drunk too? Who was that?
Oh, they might not even be here anymore. Oh, the guy's like, oh, you guys are fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah, that one. Yeah, him.
you know, I don't know what
Yeah, that
happened to
was
that guy.
Liam's friend. Oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
uh,
The question is where we go from here with the training, because I I think force free is dead in the water. I think people are hip to the scam. They know that stuff doesn't solve problems. That doesn't stop behaviors. It sounds nice, but it doesn't solve behaviors. Then they go to the ICP, IGP people, TWC people, and they look for answers there, but that's not it either. Like Brandon says, that's not it. Then you think it's over here. And then you realize that's not it. And then you go over here and you realize that ain't it. But where is it? And how do we convince people to go there instead of buying shot collars and prong collars? And it's not that it sounds like we're anti shock and prong collars, but
right,
that's we're
right.
not. Then that's
Yeah,
not what I'm saying.
I'm not against the tools. You
No,
know,
I'm
I
against the frequent use.
yeah, the reliance and
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
go to. I think I don't know the force free R plus. I think is starting to lose credibility. I wouldn't say because I still get a lot of clients that'll call me up, and that's the road they've been sent down, and now they've got problems, and so I still encounter these people all the time. Um, but I think people are starting to figure out that something is not right here. It's not two and two is not equaling four. Um, so I think the mask is starting to slip a little bit with all of it. And now, of course, it's to me it's like politics for me. You know, I see this as it's like the balance force free. It's like Democrat Republican. You know these people that they get
yeah.
disillusioned with one side and they immediately jump to the other party as if that's a solution. It's like, well, no. Don't do that. That's not going balance doesn't mean like jumping to the other side doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the answers are. Like, just take a step back and evaluate everything. You know?
The Ross Perot Avenue, the green ticket.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Let's be
I
independent for a
think,
moment and you know.
and I think someone said the other day, Ross Perot scared the hell out of them because he almost got people to see it from another than your two
Really,
choices,
really,
and it scared the hell out of them. That's what I heard.
that would be great.
So I think that's what we kind of represent is like a Green Party alternative to if you don't want to shock your dog on level 70 for like what violation could be that severe that they got to light a dog up that high till they get pee on themselves. What violation is that severe?
Well,
We've
he claimed it was because the dog was aggressive towards another dog, and what was it? Something like that dog had already injured the other dog. But what I saw in that
so keep it
video
away from dogs.
was,
Keep it away from other dogs.
yeah, there's other ways to navigate this, right? Well, what I saw in
Yeah.
that video, though, and I'll take another look at because I'm going to do a video on it. But what I saw in that video was the guy in the video called that dog to him to get it to stop doing something. The dog listened, came up to it, gave him what he wanted, and then he started to shock it, and he was like jerking it with I think it had a prong collar. He was like jerking it with the prong collar, and I'm like, why would you do that if the dog actually already came up to you? It stopped what it was doing and came up to you. To me, it was like completely unnecessary. Um, it's like way overkill, you know. But I'll have to look at it again. What's that?
he did about the IACP, how they're taking, they think they're trying to take control of the game. And if that's true, and I'm right, that is the guy ahead of education doing that. Not to beat a dead horse, we've already talked about this, but I'm still blown away. I almost want to believe that's not really him, that I've misunderstood something. But apparently, Dylan saw the exact same thing and is upset about the same thing. So he and I saw the same thing, and I just don't get it.
That was the thing that confused me because I kept hearing it was him in the video, but when I watched the video, the guy narrating it, I'm like, that doesn't sound anything like Antonio Diaz. So
But he
that's
had
why I
that
was
gray
confused. I was
beard.
like, well, wait a
The
minute,
guy had
was
that gray beard. The guy handling the dog had a gray beard.
so maybe there was
And
somebody else narrating the video, but he was in it.
it was kind of, it was a little confusing. I don't know. I hope to God IACP is not putting that crap out because people believe, oh well, I guess that's acceptable.
It's yeah, it's
No,
IACP. It's credible, it's. But this is the
and
problem with
that's
these
I would.
organizations too. Um, they're
Is
not
that
like
Tyler's organization, or he just was founded the president? He was.
no. I think he
I don't
was
think
just.
he
I think he
he
was just the president.
he
Yeah,
didn't. He wasn't the founder.
I don't think he
Because I
was
would
the
find
founder.
it.
No,
I don't see Tyler supporting that.
no, I don't. I wouldn't see Tyler supporting that either. I don't. I think he was just appointed as the president for however many years, but I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't know who founded it, but I know it's supposed to represent like the balance training
yeah.
community.
All the big heads, all the big dogs are a part of the ICP, except for Dylan because of his little comment. Otherwise, I get the feeling he would have opposed it either way. He would have. I think I got faith in Dylan. I
Yeah,
still think he's.
Dylan. I think I get so Dylan for me is he's interesting because I'm fully on board with you know um, the trolling or the him just kind of being mad and frustrated and angry with what these people do and just kind of the tactics that he employs. I just think sometimes he takes it a little too far. Um, but of course that's subjective. I just think because these people do they are a problem, and I don't disagree with him sort of going after them and doing what he does. I just think there's some lines we shouldn't cross. Um, but I understand why he does it, and that's something he feels strongly about. I get the anger, I get the passion, I get all that, because it does fucking piss me off too. So, uh,
Well, it ultimately means
but yeah,
dogs won't get help, and that's why people get
right.
upset about it. Because at the end of the day, dogs are sitting there like, "Can you please figure this shit out so I can get some help?" Because y'all are fighting and y'all can't figure it out.
Well,
Well, because
yeah,
it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
no, and I think it's even beyond that, where it's not only the dog's not getting help, but they're getting put on drugs they don't need to be on. They're getting
Yeah.
euthanized when they don't need to be euthanized. They're getting, and the further down that road we go, we're just gonna cause more fucking problems. And some of these people are out here, I think, are deliberately putting out the bad, wrong information, bad information, because that's the thing about ideology or things that are emotionally driven is these when people hold certain ideologies and beliefs, they don't care about the facts and they don't care about what's actually true. It's I'm here to serve my ideology, and that's it. You can't tell me shit, and it, nothing is going to get in the way of me um, satisfying that. And so
Yes, but I will
it's
say one side is more like that than the other. I would say the right,
yeah,
the balance training side has been much more open to show me another way. And if
sure,
there's a better way to do
yeah,
it, I want to know. The other side has no interest in talking at all.
I agree.
So I don't think they're no. Well, you say you have still have clients that still take it seriously, but I think they've lost a lot of momentum. The force free side,
they have. I just think
But
it's not even so much that I get clients that take it seriously. It's just since it's so prevalent, and if you adopt a dog from a shelter and they say this dog needs training classes, they're going to send you to some Petco, PetSmart, positive reinforcement training, and that's just all people know. They think
yeah,
they've been led to believe that's the way, and so um, when you show them something different, that I think the light bulb goes off. Um,
yeah, because most people are thinking sit, 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 treat,
right,
and
treat.
it's a
Yeah,
little more complicated. But
right, right. There's a lot more to it than that, but but I think this is why people on that side, most of them won't engage because I think deep down they know either A, they're full of shit, or B, they know there's a problem there and they don't really, they don't want to admit it because they're serving an ideology that makes them feel good. Because real, I mean, really, if you were truly confident in what you say, what you do, why wouldn't you engage with people you disagree with? Why wouldn't you have these conversations? Why wouldn't you debate? Why wouldn't you? But these people,
well,
they just don't want to do that.
I think if they were honest, they would say death before discomfort, which is a vet term. And if you have to do this to save a dog to adjust their behavior, you might as well use them because that's abuse.
I
And
know,
then
and
we're
it
getting
just
to
doesn't
that
like it doesn't compute. It doesn't compute, you know.
because they'll kill the dog or put them on dope, but we can't do a leash pop.
Right, or just a little bit of pressure, or it's yeah.
Yeah.
It's why are the
I don't do
dogs
a
the
lot of leash
more?
pops. I used to do all that
I
stuff.
don't either.
I used to be a lot more
Yeah,
heavy handed and I've softened up a whole lot.
I have
And it's
too
a
with
good
the leash.
feeling. It's a good
Yeah,
feeling, isn't it? When
it
you can
is.
realize
It is
how
when.
easy it
Well,
can
yeah.
be with just a little
Yep.
bit.
Just a little bit. That's I love,
uh,
and this is one thing I always tell my clients: the hardest thing to learn is the leash, but there's a level of touch that when you master it. What did I say that one live stream? Actually, one of my the owner of Jasper, she was watching that stream. She thought it was funny. But what did I say? When you got the touch, you don't need much. And I think I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's a good
What's
one.
up, Pete? Yeah, I like that. When you got the touch, you don't need much. Yeah, Pete,
Yeah,
you're right, man.
I
Things
like
have
that.
become performative rather than based on a true relationship where the dog behaves because of respect. Exactly. Yeah, that's why Pete, I have such an issue with the the TikTok clipped up, edited, fancy looking bullshit because that's all it is performative. There's nothing really
And
of
yeah, and
substance
to that
there.
point, it's like a facade substance with a facade of important with no real substance. I think
Right.
that's the problem with humanity today in general. We look for the image of how it looks without it actually
Right.
being that.
But
Yeah,
underneath,
it's
it's like rotted from the foundation up. It's just it's a house of cards, you know. Um, but this is also why I think, and this has become like my new mission is just challenging people to put out work. Let me see it, do live streams, just because um, I think that's what separates the haves from the have-nots. If all you've got is clipped up bullshit like that, but you can't do a live stream with your dog just walking down, walking through a forest preserve or something, and having just a peaceful walk with your dog, well then all that clipped up fancy bullshit is meaning. It doesn't mean anything at that point. It's like what is this all for? It's just
well, the problem is
it's to
owners
sell.
aren't demanding that. If owners demanded, I must see this first,
Right,
and then
right,
we'll determine who is worthy of it's free market, but they don't
yeah,
they fall for the glitz and the glamour and they have good marketing and their website looks nice and they look well they have a lab coat on.
I
So
know, and that's the downside of the social media game is sometimes those are the people that they get the most attention, but it's like oh there yeah was that Prince and is who else you got over there,
it's
Prince and
I would say their names but then they're gonna stop playing. So that's Bam
that's all
Bam,
right. Goose is still
Bam
just
Bam and
snoring over
Millie.
here.
Oh yeah.
Um, what was I gonna say? There was and this is
Okay,
why.
we're gonna
So
play.
for me, because I've always been suspicious of people that when you ask them for work, they make excuses or get defensive or whatever, and I'm like, something's going on here. And so,
Hmm.
because really, if you have a certain skill level and you really don't have problems with your dog, then it shouldn't be anything for you to just hit the record button and just make a video or do a live stream. Like it shouldn't be nothing. But you got all these people out here that they love to talk. They do a lot of this, and yet when you ask them like, well, can we see it? It's like they want to they want to convince you that, oh, you don't need that. Oh, I don't got nothing to prove to you. I don't have to show nothing. It's like,
Because a lot of people
um,
think it's just simple. You just press the button. It's not that complicated. I don't need to know all that. You just press this button when you don't like something. It's really not
right.
that complicated.
Yeah,
But if they
and
knew how
it just
complicated it really was, then they would probably ask for that stuff.
and
Yeah,
I
show me you can
for
do it
me it's
without the tools.
yeah. And for me, it's I don't know, those who can actually show it. Like I'm always very eager and proud. What's that? I couldn't hear you.
I'm messing with
Oh, okay.
no, I'm
for
just
for me,
teasing
I
teasing
don't
the
know.
comments.
I got you. I've always been somebody like for the videos I put on my channel. If I have work to show, I'm always like eager to show it. I'm proud of what I have to show, what I have to share, and to be able to back up what I say with evidence. I mean, that's something I just like. It makes me proud, and
Well,
so
I mean, you want to say I'm not just talking. You want to
right,
it's that's fair to say I'm not just talking. Here's what I do. I'm also talking, but I'm also walking.
exactly. I'm walking the
So,
talk. You can see it,
hmm
and that's
hmm
I think anybody who does this and takes money from people in a professional capacity should be able to do that.
but
Let's see. There's a
you
comment
should
here.
if your mechanic is a mechanic. It's an interesting analogy because mechanics are pretty much going to do the same thing across the board. They're going to do things the same way. But if you had different ways of fixing cars and you had a mechanic that was the wrong approach, then yeah, you got to switch mechanics. I've done it.
Hmm.
I think I've done that before,
Yep,
actually.
and it might be based on the car. Like there are certain types of cars that some mechanics just
Yeah.
they're not
Uh,
they don't know how to work on them. You know. Um, well, Leanne. So here's how I see it, Leanne. So because I have a lot of clients who, I mean, they'll even send me videos of other trainers, and they'll talk about, oh, so and so said this. What do you think of that? I don't have any problem with that. Y'all watch who you want. Like I said, if everybody has something of value to offer, then there's no reason why you couldn't pick up something from this guy or learn something from this. But don't just blindly accept it. It's like what we did with even Caesar and Brandon. We put it. It was like trial and error. Like, all right, I'm learning this. Let me apply it and see how it goes. You know what I mean? And then you just kind of figure it out for yourself. And so it's not. I don't think it has to be like an all or nothing thing. And I'm not going to sit here and ever try to convince everybody that I fucking know everything. What I will say though is if I have a particular problem that I don't have an immediate solution for, I'm going to figure it out. That is my mentality. But I'm never going to sit and profess that I fucking have all the answers and I know everything. I have a lot of experience, but there's no reason why. And this is the thing I don't understand about other people, how they run their channels. Is like if they see you comment on someone else's video, they're gonna ban you or talk shit about you or call you names. It's like, who are you to tell another adult human that they can't watch somebody or they can't comment on somebody's video or they can't watch like are we really this fragile? It's like you know what I mean?
well, to that point, one thing about Caesar, Leon, and that last comment, people will say about him, he's so good with those stronger willed dogs at the front of the pack, but he's so good at the back, and he's so good at the middle. He's just so smooth with any type of dog. He's so versatile. And yeah, to your
Yeah.
point, there are a lot of trainers who are their niche is the more stronger headed dogs, or their niche is the more soft, timid, shut down dogs. But there's some who are versatile.
Mm-hmm. We work
But
with all of them.
that comes with
I w- a lot of
but that comes
experience.
with being able to switch your energy at a split second.
Hmm.
That's very hard to do. Very hard
I
to do.
like working with a variety. Like I can work with the fearful dog or the insecure dog, but I can work with the dominant aggressive. I could work with, you
Which do you
know,
like more? Which do you like more?
ooh, you know.
Which
Well,
gives you
before I
more
answer that,
satisfaction when it's
Leanne, I wasn't trying to say you said it was all or nothing. That was not what I meant. I was just saying for the general public or the people who want to convince you that it's all or nothing. I don't agree with that. I wasn't trying to say you said it was all or nothing. Oh, absolutely, Leanne. All eight, absolutely. I have no doubts about that. But my favorite dog. So I, there's something I always have found thrilling about the dogs like Clark, where they're going to challenge you and it's like a standoff, and I know they're capable of violence. There's something I really enjoy about going into that battle. I love it. I thrive on it. It's like it makes me feel alive, you know. So I really enjoy those power struggles and that kind of because that really tests me. It's like iron sharpening iron, right? It's like those dogs really they really keep me on my toes and they help me go to the next level. But I also really like the dog I worked with last night. That dog was a lot more skittish, fearful, like avoidant, and I enjoy those dogs too because it forces me to I got to slow down a little bit. I have to really be observant of like what is the dog showing me here and why and how do I navigate them through this thing that they don't want to move forward. All right, let me settle down for a second. Let me and I got to piece that puzzle together. And so but in both situations, it's like a bit of a chess match where you got to kind of figure out what's your next move, and then you gauge the dog's reaction to that next move, and it's kind of a back and forth. So no matter what, there's always a little bit of that going on that I really enjoy. But yeah, I get something out of all of it. But I tell you, the dogs that I don't, the dogs that really just like you said earlier, the dogs that just don't care, that just don't like no matter what you do, they present a different challenge. Those are my
because you
two
gotta be
favorite.
very creative.
Yeah,
You gotta be
you got to
real
get creative with
creative.
those dogs.
Or like in my situation with like my mom's dogs that she's taken on this puppy and then Teddy, and she has Sailor already. She's losing control. She can't get him to stop barking and this kind of stuff. So part of my challenge is making her no mean something
Right.
when I'm not there, or she'll shut the blinds because she can't make them stop barking. And now the house is all dark.
Yeah.
When you can just establish no, no means no.
Right.
But
Right.
and Teddy's a nice, sweet dog. He just looks at her like, make me, or I'm not gonna do it.
Right. Right.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I
I
don't care. I don't care
mhm.
what you have to say. What
So it's
what are your favorites, Travis? Yeah, I'll
the
answer.
scared ones.
I'll respond to Leanne here. But what are your favorite? You like the scared ones? Yeah.
Whether they're fighting or flighting out of fear,
Yeah.
those are the ones. Because those are the hardest ones. Those are more difficult. Dogs who are fighting for their life or flighting for their life. Those are the most difficult cases.
I
The
hear
other
you.
ones are
You
difficult,
know,
but not the same.
I've what I've the most difficult dogs that I've worked with always they seem to be ones that have had poor socialization, and so the world is this big scary place that they so if that element was missing and it's like we got a lot of catch up to do, but I think those dogs can be more difficult than like other
Like
dogs
a
I've
like
worked
a
with.
4 week old that was bottle fed and never had a mama.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
met a few, and I wonder if this dog ever had a mama. because they just are oblivious.
They
Where
just
like my mom's
something
puppy
wrong,
had a
something off.
mama, but she had a mama and siblings and everything, a daddy and a mama. And this dog is acting like I don't know what no means. She's just that strong willed. And my mom's gonna have
So
trouble with
she
her.
probably never got any discipline from the mother.
She was probably the highest rank of the puppies and never got any pushback from the other
Probably.
puppies and wasn't around mama enough for her mom to teach her that stuff don't fly.
Right.
Because this dog, I'm having to, this is what I mean by threats and intimidation. Yes, I threaten and intimidate puppies. I'm evil. But
So
there's
is
a
their
way you
mom
do
though.
it.
The mother dog will
Exactly.
do that too.
She's
That's what
going to
comes
do
from.
this.
Exactly right.
That's a
Don't mess with
warning.
it.
And if you don't take heed to that growl and that eye contact, I'm going to ask, tell, demand. Then I'm going to follow up. But
It's not an
I
empty
think I
threat.
almost got this puppy's number. I can almost, if I, she listens to it. So now I can remote control her at this point. So if she's too much with Sailor, I can, but my mom can't.
It's all right.
So, and Teddy almost drag her down the block. If he sees a squirrel or a cat, she can't. And this is what, how Brandon talks about this cannot be physical. You think you're going to physically control that dog who's about the same size as my mom? It has to be psychological. And I don't think it's going to work. So now we've been talking about gentle leader, prong collar, these type of things to help her control him. And I don't know. I think we're gonna have to do gentle leader. But with he when he walks with me, I don't have that problem.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's like
Because as soon as he does this, as soon as his mouth goes shut, he looks up and his mouth goes shut, I know he's zeroed in on that cat. I'm already she just doesn't see it.
Yep. Yeah, that's always
Right, Bam Bam?
the Halties in that. They're always my last resort, but it's
Yeah.
incredible to me when I'm showing people how to walk their dog, I take the leash and show them, and the dog slows down and follows, and they see it. But then I hand the leash off to them, and now the dog's pulling again, but sometimes people will still blame the dog, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
listen, you can see that
The
he
dog
can
just
do it.
proved to
It's just
you that they understood
yeah,
it.
it's just the way that I'm when I take the leash, there's something different going on there, so he's showing you he can do it. It's the X factor is you, what you're communicating through the leash, and so that's what we got to work on.
Yeah, they had some catch up to get the leash stuff down, but one thing Brandon does is this hormone manipulation therapy. He is changing the chemistry in the brain. So if like when you do home visits, I'm pretty sure you can capitalize on that what you've done, and then you hand the leash over. The dog is in that state of mind, and that's how you like David was asking, how does this translate? How do you translate that to the owner? Whereas hormone manipulation therapy, it's changing the chemistry in the brain in that moment, and then you reassociate the owner with that state of mind, and then hopefully they take that and run with it. But they have to do so much. They have to be so consistent at that point because then now there's a window of opportunity where the dog is going to say,
Right.
are you a new person? Are you this person now?" If by the day 2 or 3 they see, oh, you're back to that, now you've missed the window. Now they don't believe you. So there's a big
Yep.
thing about this window of opportunity. If you miss it, yeah, we can kind of go back, but we're gonna have to do a lot more than if you'd have just taken advantage of that window. Like when people
Yeah.
first get dogs, that first day,
Oh yeah, that's
that first 10
crucial.
seconds, the first
Crucial.
10 minutes. And
Crucial.
if you miss that window, it's a more ideal if you capitalize on that window, let's just say. Because you gotta
And this is why, yeah, this is because I something I've said so many times is you're building a relationship the minute you meet that dog, the second you meet that dog, and the day you bring that hot dog home, you got to start right away establishing rules, boundaries, structure of just establishing that dynamic. But I think that's why like in Goose's case, you know, she'd never walked with anybody before. She never followed anybody. She constantly was
Mm.
running back into the house. She was going to the bathroom in the house because she wouldn't go outside. But then I bring her home, and now she's starting to walk with me. And it's like because there's something I'm giving her something different than what she was getting with the foster owner, or probably even before she was a stray. I don't know. And so,
And movement is worth a lot to dogs. Movement is life. That's
mm,
not movement is death. So like
migration.
you getting
Yeah.
her moving could have just been the thing to just un- tell her brain this is what you need. Inertia is death.
Mm. Yeah, and
That's
she's
why
if I give her
walking
something to
is.
follow now, yeah, and she that helped build a lot of confidence in her because now she's able to move through the world, and all of the scary things that we've encountered, they're not so scary anymore. Um, Now does she still not like garbage trucks? No, she don't, and I don't care. To me, it's not a problem. Um, but I could take her out for a walk, and we could walk past the lawnmowers, and she's fine. I could take her downtown. She's fine. But she has this confidence about her. She's like, but that's not the dog I met day one. The dog I met day one was insecure. Even the little video I took her to the Halloween party of Grizzly's owners. She's out in the front yard, and they're just kids walking by. Whatever. She's got her paw up, and she's looking around, and she was not comfortable in that situation. But I could take her to that same situation now, and she'd be perfectly fine. And that's the hormonal manipulation you're talking about.
And dogs are the best at the most adaptable animals on the planet or among. I mean, they can adapt. Most dogs can adapt to almost anything. There are just some who you just don't need to push it,
Right.
like Goose and garbage trucks or Sailor with Thunder. It's just like, what's the point? I mean, Thunder is a little different because I'm far more likely to encounter Thunder than you are to encounter garbage truck. So Sailor, in some ways, has to overcome it, but my mom doesn't do what I've asked her to do, which is crate him because he pinballs from room to room, in flight,
Mm-hmm.
constant flight. So as long as he's practicing flight, he's brain thinks he's running from the thunder, and he thinks it's working. So if you don't block flight and put him in a crate, so now we're going on 4 years of this. Fluoxetine didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It just made him a zombie.
Yeah.
He was quiet, but he was too quiet. But
I've had a bunch of
sound,
clients with their dogs on fluoxetine. It's always fluoxetine and what's the other one? Trazodone. It's always like those two at the same time, and
yeah.
I don't know why is it always these two
At
drugs,
the same time,
but yeah, at the same time, I've had
fluoxetine is
several
generic
clients.
Prozac, isn't it?
I think
It's
so.
generic
Yeah.
Prozac. When I took Prozac in 2007, I was prescribed. I wanted to kill everything I saw. I was very violent,
I've heard some bad
and
things about
I took
Prozac.
myself off it for like I was on it for like 5 days, and I got off it immediately. I can only imagine dogs and then trazodone, same thing, can cause aggression in dogs. It's in the literature.
Yeah, this is the thing, and yeah, Pete, medicating dogs is basically a crime in your opinion, man. Yeah, I cannot fathom like what it's like to be a dog and just have all these drugs forced onto you because you don't really
Well, I
know
was
you don't know what the dog is experiencing being on those drugs, and so it could be like the most horrifying thing for that dog, and you may not even know it, and
I was on Ritalin
I
for middle school and high school, and I was forced. And if I would have not taken it, I don't know what would have happened to me. Honestly, I probably would have been better off at a type of school that made me let me play sports and challenge me in a different way than to force me to sit in class with medication. That would have been better. But given the alternatives, I was doped up and I did not like it. If it messed me up long term with appetite and sleep. And I'm sure
yeah,
same
and
with
I've
dogs, but
I've known people who've been on like antidepressants and stuff, and then they try to get off of them, and it's like horrifying trying to
It's
get
like
off those
it's like
things.
heroin withdrawals.
Yeah, yeah,
You can get
it is.
sick.
So,
Not that I would know from personal experience, but
right, yeah,
I'm sure I had withdrawal symptoms getting off of Ritalin.
probably
But
you might have, but it's I think the whole medication, I think vets are way too quick to just prescribe drugs for everything. Oh, your dog's got this problem. Oh, here's a pill. It's almost like what they do to us with people. They just seem to think that all these issues are, it's all genetic. Here's a pill. And then most of the times the pills don't even do anything. But it's not the root of the issue. So the drugs, A, it's not even the right solution. And B, how much more fucked up are we going to make the dog by putting him on those drugs? Tim, I don't think it's taken too lightly, in my opinion. Um, right, Pete. Yeah, it's like you said, inappropriate exercise for boys and dogs. Get the energy. It's like how many we're talking about kids, and you always hear we got to put them on Ritalin or Adderall because they got
Adderall.
ADHD, and it's like, yeah, they're little kids, they're little boys. Why don't you actually teach them how to channel that energy? Like, do you
I mean,
think
my
it's not normal
psychiatrist
for
told my
little
mom
boys to be, you know?
they tried to tell me to shoot baskets before school. I kind of needed more than that. I mean, it's not gonna. And then what?
Yeah,
Go take a shower and then go to school? Like,
right,
I've worked in public schools. It's not. It's meant for certain kids, but it's torture for other kids like me
right.
who have had to sit. I've been kicked out of so many schools because I can't sit still. It's boring, and I know there are dogs that feel the same way, and they
Right.
bug their owners, and the owners dope them up, and then now they're not a problem anymore. Just sit down and shut up. And that's
Yeah,
what people
it's
really
it's
want.
um it's a lot of people, they get dogs that just don't match their lifestyle. And it's so get a dog that matches your lifestyle. And like if you're an active person, then okay, and you're disciplined and you know how to provide structure to your dog, then okay, you might be able to get a more high energy dog. But if you're a lazy fuck, don't fucking go out there and get a goddamn German Shepherd or Malinois or whatever. Like, don't do it. It's not, you
Well,
know.
do you believe in this? Because I've heard even Has say this, and I don't know. I don't know how true it is. He said he's had Malinois in a New York City apartment. I know he's from Canada, but and he just tells them to go sit down somewhere, and they don't need to do all that. So like a lot of people think these dogs need all that, but if you just tell them to sit down somewhere, they're fine. I don't know.
Well, I think
I'm
it
out
just depends
almost
on the
every
dog.
day with my dogs. I'm out almost every day, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't know. But if I'd not been that person and we just sit around all day, then I would know if the dog is fine with that or not. So I don't
Right.
know.
For me, I mean, we have the same routine, and it was the same with my other two dogs. We walked twice a day, and I would play with my previous two dogs, like in the backyard, throwing a ball, whatever. Um, but to me, it's just because a dog is, say, a Malinois, it doesn't necessarily mean they're high energy or they got a lot of drive. But so it's like a case by case basis. You may have a dog who is of a certain breed. They might be pretty low energy though. And at that point, it's not really, to me, it's not,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
need
yeah,
as
yeah.
much, you know.
Yeah, it's deeper than just a breed. It's temperament.
Right. Right.
It's
Absolutely.
drives.
Temperament all the way.
Low, medium, high drives. Yep. And the hardest dogs, Brian Agnew. I use his little formula for drives. You know who that is, Brian Agnew. I think it's
Mm-mm. No, I don't think I've
Sherry
heard of him.
Lucas' ex-husband, or I don't know. He's a trainer, but
I've
pack
heard of
drive,
Sherry
prey
Lucas. Yeah.
drive, defensive drive, and that's how I evaluate shelter dogs. So like if you have high prey drive, high defensive drive, and low pack drive, you're in for a wild ride. But if you have
Yeah.
low prey drive, low defensive drive, high pack drive, highly adoptable. It's when
Mhm.
those drives kick in, or you don't have enough pack drive, they're not gonna listen to you. They're not interested in listening. And people get these livestock guardian dogs who aren't interested in listening to you,
Mhm.
like Teddy. My mom got a livestock guardian dog. He barks all the time, and she can't make him stop because that's what he does.
That's what he does, right? That's what he does, and that's why I think I think that's a message that I don't. There's still people that don't quite understand that is they have breeds that they adopt just because they think they're cool or they look cool or they just like they for aesthetic reasons, but they
The
don't
look, I
ever.
like to just like to look at one blue eye, and I just
Yeah,
loved it,
right.
and like okay, but
But they never learn about okay, well, what comes with this dog? Then
and
and
that's why
they
Caesar's new message is picking the right dog, so we can avoid all this. So it's like I think trainers should offer this as a service. I will go to the shelter with you and help you find the right dog for you and your family.
right.
Because you don't want the
Yeah.
one necessarily that's at the front of the crate like this, all at the front, jumping up and down on the thing. It may be for you, if depends on how much experience you have and what your lifestyle is. You may not want the one that's in the very back either, hiding because they're timid. You might want the one that's in the middle that is sitting just like this.
Yeah,
And
just
if
kind of
people
middle
can
of the
learn to
road.
read that, they can save themselves a lot of these headaches. But they want the one that's showing all this personality at the gate, and they're jumping up, and they wonder why when they took them home in 2 weeks they wanted to return them.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't think long term about that. Or what does that really mean when the dog is doing that right away?
And
But no,
shelters should
Pete,
have some
that's
type
what
of
I was gonna
no, go
say,
ahead.
Pete. That's what Travis was saying. He was saying LSGs they're not supposed to be good. That's what Travis was saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I hear you with that, Pete. You're guilty of it, right? I know what you mean. But you were saying shelters should have some kind of like system where they could pair up people who are
That and
maybe more
helping
compatible.
transition you even though a lot of people don't want that. Most people aren't going to let a trainer help transition the dog into the home. Oh no, I got it. I've had dogs all my life, and people are
Hmm.
they can't ask for the help even though they need it. But if shelters offered that, somebody who can, and I've been at adoption events where I've had to tell people this is, can I ask you some questions about your lifestyle so we can make sure. I've even sabotaged some adoptions because I knew
Oh
you
yeah.
wanted this dog for the wrong reason, and no,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not gonna work.
I mean, you're looking out for the dog. You're looking out for the dog. But no, Missy, what I think what Travis is saying when he's saying, appreciate it, Pete. Thanks for dropping by, man. It's good to see you. When he's saying that people want dogs with all this personality, I think what he's saying is, of course, we want our dogs to have personality. They have their unique individuality about them, but sometimes people they get too much dog for that for what they're capable of handling, and they don't
Yeah.
they I think they misinterpret what the dog's giving them. They think it's personality, but the dog's really showing them like I got a lot of energy, I'm high drive, I got, and they're not ready for all that.
Yeah, the shelter I worked at in 2017, I could get 300 dogs in that room to be quiet because I used to stay overnight sometimes, and I needed to sleep, and I had to get a bunch of dogs to be quiet. But I would get them quiet, and when potential adopters would come through, they would see them sitting down so nicely, and I got in trouble because my boss wanted them to be like this because that's how they get adopted.
Wouldn't
But
you want them to be calm and, like
no, and not at a shelter because I get some shelters. I wonder if it's for the dollar if they're selling dogs because some of them are $500 to $1,000 for a rescue dog. The rescue I work at, those are 150 to 150 bucks to cover vetting and then whatever heartworm, whatever that they 150 bucks, but some of them 500 to 1,000.
that's
Heartworm is expensive.
ridiculous.
And if they did go through heartworm treatment, that's different. But nothing. So a lot of the time, I wonder if some of these rescues are selling dogs.
That is probably likely. I know, man. I remember when I got my first two. back at the Humane Society, it was $95 for Kaylee and 165 for Bruno because he was a designer dog. But then fast forward to 2024, and I hadn't gotten a dog in many years, and so when I started looking, I'm seeing the prices, and I'm like, holy shit, the prices have like you can't even like even at the Humane Society, you're talking $300-400. And I'm like, damn, back when I got Killing Bruno, it was $95 for just your regular dog, and now I couldn't believe how much
Yeah, it
more
was about the
expensive it was.
mission, all about the mission, and then people thought, oh shoot, you mean you make a lot of money? Sailor was $500. Not that he ain't worth it. He's worth more than that, but $500. Most people can't afford that. How you gonna save dogs if you know?
Right. Yeah. And I know some of
That's
that goes to
ridiculous.
cover the spaying and the neutering, and I get, but I don't know.
It don't cost that
I know
much.
what you're
Yeah.
saying. Right. Right. No, I hear you, Mishy. I got you. I got you. It's all good. Like shit. I mean, I got lucky with Goose because she was originally I think 350, but she was sponsored, so I paid $100 for her. Best $100 I ever spent. So
I
she
get
was
mine free
discounted.
because Prince was free because they were gonna kill him. Millie was free because they were gonna kill her. So they didn't charge. Teddy was free. They didn't charge me. Uh, but
That's
I
nice.
wonder.
That's good. At least it's like you're in a position where you could take dogs. It's not really good. It's not going to cost you anything really.
It has ended up costing me Wednesday.
Well, yeah,
Breaking up. I gotta
right with
make
it. Yeah,
$2,500 in the next 4 days, which
for
I will.
Prince's surgery.
Wednesday morning. He'll be able to see Wednesday.
That's
I can't tell
crazy.
you how hard this has been. Walking him down every step of stairs every day, guiding him around the corner so it doesn't crash in the wall every day.
That's a lot
So
of
I
work,
have to I
man.
had no choice but to come up with $5,000 for his eye or euthanize him,
Did,
and he's 6.
did
So
you have a GoFundMe or something? Didn't you have
yeah,
for Prince?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I can make a post, man.
yeah.
I could post it, the link, and then if anybody wants to
Just
donate, get Prince
yeah, just share
surgery.
it. Yeah, people can share it because we're still uh, short, even though we're scheduled Wednesday. But yeah, it's just costing me. And Millie has had some UTI in the last week. That cost me $200. So I was just at the vet the other day with her. And it's just always something.
Yeah, I
So
remember
imagine
I
if
was
people
live
don't
streaming.
know
You
about
popped in.
yeah. So some people have behavioral issues and health issues. There's no money for
Yeah,
that, especially what some of these trainers are charging. Uh, I think
man.
your rate is
I've heard of
fair.
some of these.
Two something for
I,
2 hours, and you
I
guarantee
appreciate
anything
that.
beyond 2 hours. I think that's fair.
I
Mhm.
appreciate that.
But
I've
two,
had
3, 4, $5,000. Come on, man.
Yeah, no. I've had a couple people tell me that I don't charge enough, but I'm like, I don't want to push it too far. But
No, you're
but
probably
I
not
so,
charging enough.
some of these board and trains though are like $15,000. Like who the fuck is coughing up
There, I've heard
15
up to
grand,
30.
20 grand for?
There's a Kyle Schwab. He's in L.A. He knows who Brandon is. He knows who Brandon is. But he takes on these big old, what do you call them, molossers? The the what's the molossers? The mastiffs. He takes on bullies like a little Frenchies and like mastiffs. That's all he does. But he's charged. He says he charges up to 30 for aggression cases.
I don't
thirty
know if I could
thousand
ever.
dollars. Can you imagine telling somebody I won't help your dog unless you have 30,000? He
I don't
Me and
think
him got into it.
I could. I don't think I could morally ever like that number to me is just it's insane. I don't think I could ever in good conscience propose that to somebody. You know, because I don't know. I believe in giving value for dollar, and what I charge now. like you said, yeah, it's guaranteed 2 hours. If it goes longer, there's no extra charge, but you get written instructions at the end of it. I'm on call for you,
Hmm.
so there's a lot of extra shit that you get, when you pay for that first session. So and it's so it, but I feel good charging that because I'm giving so much upfront. I don't think I could ever charge somebody fucking $30,000 for it. To me,
It's
it's
hard to know because I know trainers who charge what you are charging in the 90s for non-even aggression.
mm,
So we're not charging enough. I know I'm not. I don't think you are. But
yeah,
do you have
I've heard
packages?
I've heard people say that. Well, no, I don't. I do it just
You
session by
just do
session.
as needed, as needed, as needed, as needed.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
tell
do.
people I charge for the in person, but if you do that first session and we need to troubleshoot over the phone, I don't charge anything extra for that. But I just charge for the in person session. So that's it.
So that's why I write off. I won't say I write off a client, but if I come to your house and I show you this stuff and I say this is all I need you to do with the leash work, and I'm an open book. I mean, my line is open. You can call me at any time. I don't charge for anything. And if I don't hear from them again, if you haven't solved your problem, that's your fault
Yeah.
at that point. Because I've given you all and most
Right.
people don't reach back, but I leave them
Well, yeah.
believing.
I know.
So
I always know. So at this point, I've been working with so many people. I know the thing that tells me that I know I'll never hear from this person again is after that first session, when I reach out to them and say, "Hey, your instructions are complete." If either they don't respond to that and they don't want the instructions, or I send them the instructions, but then I follow because I always follow up a week later after I get the instructions. I follow up, see how things are going. If I follow up a week later and I don't get a response, then I know okay, I'm never gonna hear from this person again. Especially if I say here's your instructions and they don't say no. I'm like, okay, you were
yeah, so
never
you
on
don't you
board with
don't
this
think you
to be.
it's up to you to reach out in a year and say, "Hey, is everything okay?" If you if
Well,
you if
I
you
put
have
the
problems, you
onus.
know how to like if you
Yeah,
have
I
problems, you know
find
how to find
so.
me.
Ah, sorry about that.
Happened
Yeah,
again.
no,
Did it happen
I
again?
hit my stupid Bixby button. No, so
Uh
there's
I can't see you anymore, but
you
everything's the
can.
same. No. But
Are you see me now?
this is what happened the last Zoom.
Oh yeah, God damn it.
Yeah.
So okay, so there's usually like two categories of people where I'll have um because I always tell people like just text me or call me if you need anything. If something isn't working, just let me know. And
Hmm.
I'll have people that are they either communicate with me all the time, and those people end up winning because we're constantly
Yeah.
troubleshooting. They're sending me videos. We're constantly working through stuff. Or I'll have people who don't reach out. They're still responsive. Like if I reach out to them and see how things are going, they'll still they'll let me know how things are going. But if they have problems, they won't reach out and tell me. But I put the onus on me to follow up because I always say I'll follow up after a week, see how things are going, and then I'll just kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
periodically check in. But I always tell them like if something, let me know if you're struggling with something. We'll figure it out. And some people, it's like a 50-50. Some people do, some people don't. But I'll always still just kind of follow up, be like, hey, how's everything going? And if they need some help, I'll be like, all right, well, hey, let's get on the phone and we can talk about it. But the people that stay in communication constantly and are you know transparent about everything, yeah, those people succeed. They want
You
to
can
try
tell
to
who wants
figure it
it.
out. Yeah,
It's like you can tell which dog trainers want to figure it out. They ask a bunch of questions. They're always you can tell who's serious, who's not.
or there's the
But some
but Travis, remember we what is it? We didn't start out asking the right questions, so now we'll never ask the right questions because we're sold out to a line.
oh, of course. I don't know how
It's
we
like,
even
well,
managed to get through the day.
right. I've already reached a place where I don't I have the answers I need, and so it's not like if I need clarification on something, I know who to go to ask questions.
Hmm.
What's up, Shane? Yeah, no, you're good, Ryan. I figured you were joking. No, we'll probably end it here soon because I'm getting hungry. But yeah,
Yeah, I
Shane,
gotta take.
That's what Ryan said. Ryan's like, man, I'm out here training dogs. You still talking. It's all good. No, but I mean,
Ah,
does anybody have any questions or anything, or anybody want to say something? Because it sounds like I don't know. You got
uh,
to take them out, Travis.
yeah, I don't know how Millie even with this UTI. And when I walk her, she pulls over constantly. But when we're up here, she doesn't need to go. I don't know, but I should take her out probably.
That's interesting. What's up, Christy? Hello from America. Shane. Oh, you talking about the client you just had? The multi-poo lady was wanting to rehome. That was man, Shane. I've had cases like that too, where the owner's being told get rid of this dog, and I'm like, this dog's fucking easy. What are we doing out
Hmm.
here? You know?
You ever had it? You
Yeah,
ever been
dog.
to a client's house and you want to take that dog so bad? You just wish you could just take it.
I've had a couple. I've had a couple. Yeah,
Like,
where
damn
they.
man, I could just do so. I could just
Yep.
do so much more with you than they're
Yep.
doing.
I've had a couple.
This is a shit.
I've had a couple like that.
Dogs can get you to. Oh, I thought you said can't. Like, well, somebody lied to
I,
me.
I think he's asking. Yeah, dogs can get UTIs
Yeah,
still too. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. I know,
yeah.
Shane, man, and it's what's frustrating too is when you go to a client's house where they have a really easy dog, but the client still is not willing to step up to the plate, and you're just like, this dog is so fucking easy. Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, I know it's crazy. I know sometimes it's crazy out here, Shane. It's crazy. Yeah, I've only met a couple Delta that had UTIs, but it is possible. Um, Unfortunately, the one dog I met that had a UTI, it was living in an apartment that was filthy, and so the people weren't taking care of the place. They weren't taking care of the dog, so the dog ended up getting UTI.
They
But it
told
is
me if
possible.
retest her urinalysis in 3 to 4 weeks, if there's still crystals, then I gotta buy special food.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, if you want any
So
tips on, I mean, if you want any, I don't know what you're feeding her now, but if you want any advice with like the raw diet or anything, let me know.
oh, who you do a raw diet?
Yeah.
Man, I heard a girl say she switched her dog to raw, and this dog smelled like garbage for 2 weeks
Dogs smell like garbage.
while it was
What the fuck was she
transitioning.
feeding
While
it?
it was, I don't know, but she said the smell was so horrible for 2 weeks as she transitioned to raw.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, maybe that did happen. I've never experienced it or heard anybody who transitioned had that same problem. But
Well, I do
it's
want to
it's
switch, and I'm going to talk to you about that because Prince, they're all on science diet, sensitive stomach, but
okay.
I think it sounds nice, but it's still garbage.
Yeah, that's always what the vets will try to give you or the Humane Society. It's always science diet for some reason. So I think they must get
Yeah,
some sponsorship or
yeah,
kickback or something. I don't know. But yeah, yeah,
probably.
just
We'll talk on that.
yeah, just shoot me some questions or whatever you want to know, Travis.
All
Um,
right,
let's see.
hold up, be
For
right back.
sure, Shane. Yeah, post some videos, man. Let me know when you're doing a live stream too. Uh, yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I hear you. Um, there you go. Yeah, it's definitely easy if you didn't use a single piece of food, Shane. Oh, yeah, I never heard of ZV Peak until you mentioned it, Shane. Never heard of it before. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I just buy just Whole Foods. It doesn't have to be 100% raw. It can be cooked. You can have some cooked food in there too.
But where do
But
you get the
any,
chicken from? Where do you get the meats from?
So back in the day, I used to go to the Amish country because the quality of meat was
Mm-hmm.
really good. It was really cheap. But nowadays, it's definitely not the best. But I'll just go to the grocery store, get regular chicken drumsticks, chicken thighs, turkey
With
necks.
it full of antibiotics, that's what I'm worried about. Like,
Yeah, it's not the best quality. But I would still rather do that than the kibble. So
yeah. So meats, you like chicken,
chicken's the bit. Yeah, I use chicken more than anything. But chicken,
but aren't
oh, go ahead.
well, don't most dogs have some type of chicken allergy, or not most dogs, but isn't that very
Some of them
common?
do. Some of them do. I've only met a few, but some of them are allergic to chicken. Most dogs aren't.
Oh, oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
but chicken's the cheapest, and you can stretch it out. But always get meat with bone in it, and then that's why I like the
The marrow
drumsticks. Yeah,
for the marrow.
you want the all. There's a lot of nutrients in the marrow and the blood
Mm,
that's in there, and of course the bone
oh, okay.
itself. But the bone is what will allow it. If it's more of like a 50, if the ratio to meat and bone is the right amount, then their poop will come out. It'll be like these little nuggets, and
Oh,
your dog won't poop very much, but it'll be like three, four little nuggets, and that's it. Easy to pick up. Doesn't really smell. It smells like iron more than anything. But then of course, you do you want to do internal organs like hearts, livers. I like gizzards, um, but turkey
can't you
necks.
just go to a butcher, a local butcher,
Yeah,
and get that stuff,
yeah, you go.
or a
Yeah,
grocery
definitely. You
store?
can go to a butcher. You go to a
Oh,
butcher.
okay.
Yeah, and then either or. But I also do
Cause my
goose. She eats a lot of raw eggs. I add a lot
uh,
of egg to it. Fish is another. You could do fish,
oh,
but
you don't do the same thing. You kind of switch it around.
yeah, I kind of have a variety. Yeah, I mix it up.
Cause I'm like, I don't want to. It's not because of his eye, but I want these dogs to be healthier and live longer, obviously. But this whole surgery that he's about to do has made me really rethink all this, what I'm feeding him.
I got you.
So I do want to. I've been wanting to switch. So we'll talk more about it.
Yeah, just let me know. Just shoot me whatever questions. I've been, Kaylee and Bruno. I had them on that diet their whole life, so I've been feeding this way for fucking 14 years, 15 years since.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. Okay.
yeah, I've been doing it a long
Okay.
time. So it's and Goose, when I got her, I mean, although she's more like 50-50, half raw, half cooked, but she does get beef. I'll give her like ground beef, raw and cooked, raw egg, sometimes cooked egg, chicken. Um, but yeah, I like to mix it up. We get livers like once a month to make sure she gets the nutrients from those. But the internal organs are pretty cheap. You can get a thing of livers like that big for
Oh,
like $1.50. They're not expensive at all.
my dog's gonna love me after I
Hell yeah!
whip some of that up.
There
Shoot.
you go. The best part is you won't have to clean their teeth. You won't have to. They won't have bad breath. They won't have to.
Really?
Yeah, you won't have to do any of that. There's an enzyme in their spit called lysozyme, and when that enzyme is working right, because their immune system is functioning well, that enzyme actually it kills bacteria. So
Oh, okay.
dogs should have very clean mouths. And so if you meet dogs that have bad breath and all that, it's because they're not eating the right food and that enzyme is not working. So, um, yeah, the dog's mouth should be really odorless. They really shouldn't smell like anything.
Okay, so if I go over to my dogs right now and smell their mouth and it stinks, there's something wrong. It's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah, it means that that enzyme is not working right. But it's always because they're eating kibble and it gets stuck in their teeth and that it kind of hampers their immune system and that enzyme just can't work right
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
for sure. All right
Well,
then.
they
Well,
say, the brain is in the gut, so might as well start there if you want to start with
there you
behavioral
go.
issues. Not that mine have any, but
Right. Actually, I had somebody in my comments trying to argue with me that food was the number one cause of like aggression or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I acknowledge
hmm,
that like a dog should eat right, and it could play a role in certain things, but never once have I showed up to somebody's house who had aggression issues and was like, "Well, we got to change the diet," and that solved the problem. Never
Yeah.
had that happen.
Well,
So,
we'll see because I'm gonna switch them up. We're gonna see if anything changes.
all right, I love it. Yeah, let me know, man. And need help with
Oh
anything?
well.
Just shoot me a message for sure.
I
All
will
right, I think
definitely.
you got anything else you want to say, Travis? Or
That's it. Thank y'all for tuning in.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate y'all for joining. Thank y'all for the
Till next
likes.
time.
I know it's like two separate streams, but I'll post both of them. But I appreciate
Oh
y'all for
yeah.
joining. Thank you for listening. I know it was for those of you who listen to the replay, it's a long one, but you'll enjoy it. All right.
Yeah. All
Hell
right,
yeah. All
y'all.
right, guys.
Peace.
Thank y'all for joining. We'll see you later. All right, Travis. Appreciate your time,
All
man.
right. You too, man. Thanks.
All right. See you later, man.
All right.